Hello, fellow followers. Welcome back to FanZcene on the Physical Media Show. I'm glad to have you guys with us, and I'm glad to have you here, Tom and Runner, as always. How are you guys doing this evening, night, whatever time it is where you are?
Doing the best I can.
Not too bad, yeah.
Nice. Glad to have you guys here as always. Let's say hail to the chat real quick before we get into some physical media talk here. So we got Random Brad. Hails to you, my friend. Glad to see you here as always. Dr. Coffindale says Mead Raid. Yes. And if you haven't, go check out the 4K4U that was on earlier after this show. Robert Meyer Burnett was on there. He was giving some great knowledge on the history of physical media and special features. I wish I could have stayed longer, but listening to Robert talk about, all those movies is just like mesmerizing.
Well, it's definitely going to be something we'll have to continue because we did not even scratch the surface of the stuff.
I know. I mean, he's like just like right at the beginning. It was amazing listening to his stories. Kitty Bear waiting again. Yeah, sometimes we're late. It happens. We get to talking and stuff.
It's Runner's fault.
It's always Runner's fault, though. We always blame him.
Blame the kid.
Of course.
Hi, Heather Preston. Glad to have you here as well.
He was fighting with Mom and Dad.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you the real truth, guys. It was Tom's fault because he played a song about.
I was making a song.
Yeah, he was making a song about me and my Best Buy. That's what kept us from going live.
It went a little something like this.
Oh, you guys are gonna love it.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Fuck Runner's Best Buy in the eye. I have to go to Walmart. And I'm not going to be able to do it the same as before, so it don't matter. I'll come up with something better. Don't worry about it. I've been working on it. It's just like, it's like, fuck your Best Buy in the eye. Fuck your Best Buy in the eye. Something, I don't know. I'm working on it still. It's a work in progress.
It's good.
Runner's Best Buy really sucks. Stuff like that, just really fuck his Best Buy.
Yeah, just fuck it.
just fuck your Best Buy. We're getting there. I'm working on my calluses and stuff again. I got myself one of these little travel guitars. I've always been partial to Fender, so I went and got a
that's a
little. It's a smaller one.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool though. It looks nice.
Cool.
It's I got too many already. That's 3 guitars now. I gave my kid my Fender Strat a long time ago.
That's cool, though.
That's kind of what that reminds me of. That's basically like an acoustic version of the Strat.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay. But it's good. I would love to hear when you get that all worked out. We'll just play it on here and make fun of it.
I was kind of trying to have something before the show together, but it's not as easy to write a song as you think. And then other times I can write a song in like 10 seconds. It's just,
I know it's a weird thing, isn't it? When stuff like that. I mean, not that I've wrote songs, but I get what you're saying because I've written things before, stories and stuff.
It could be Sean, or you can consider it a travel guitar, whichever you want. Yeah, it's the 3/4 scale guitar or whatever you call it. But the neck and the bridge are all regular size, like an electric guitar size.
Yeah,
it's just the bottom, the body or whatever you call it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yes. And thank you to everybody. You know what you're talking about. But yeah, hail to everybody in chat. Steven, Deleted Scenes, Tim Hayes, Kitty Bear, Random Brad, Tyrell72, Dan Blackroyd. Yes, it's always Runner's fault. You know that. Style Section, glad to see you here. Anthony Draven, Corleone Rogue, Inverse Opinion.
We're so late and it's Runner's fault. We're so late and it's Runner's fault. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Don't need you to get no copyright strike.
No, that's what I mean. That one, the 80s night song that you came up with, it never copyrighted. So that was, I mean, I think it's in that same vein.
It was 80s night.
Yeah. But yes, welcome everybody. Ace Hanlon, Adolfo Rivero, Sean Seckhouse. Appreciate you guys all for being here and hanging out with us and just having a good time. Yeah.
My house smells like burnt cheese. For those who don't know, I totally spaced out. I was reheating a casserole I made earlier. It's like just hamburger macaroni casserole thing. Cheese and whatnot. Now my whole house smells like burnt cheese. It's like, oh shit, I was reheating food. I forgot.
That's Runner's fault too. So
Yeah, it's my fault. Something was left in the stove.
Actually,
and
it
it's
kind
not
of
even
was
in my
because I was
house.
trying to write a "Fuck You Best Buy" song.
See,
That's
I got
your
distracted.
fault.
No, that's totally you are the impetus, sir. You're the serendipitous.
You know what, Tom? You know why it's your fault? You didn't put on a timer. If you had a timer on, that would have been fine.
I don't pay attention to timers, dude. Otherwise, I'd be on time.
Yeah. What's he? A
and
woman
you're right.
Or something?
It is not the worst smell. It's making me hungrier because now I didn't get my dinner because it was burnt to a crisp. But
just if you have a phone, take one of these. Go to your clock app, and then go to
what's a phone
or alarm. Go to your timer and then time how long it's gonna take for your food to get ready. That's what I do all the fucking time.
What's a phone?
Why do I bother?
You mean it's the one that's on the wall?
How dare I suggest something? How dare I?
I know you're right. You're totally right.
You're right. We just like to give you shit because you're the youngest.
I know.
You're right. You're right.
So, felt like
it feels nice to be right once in a while.
Feels like the young grandchild tried to tell his grandparents how to work the internet or something.
That's exactly what it is.
I love watching those videos where the grandparents take like the young kids
Netflix device
and tell them actually have to here call your mom and dad. And they give them like a rotary phone and they're like, how? It's like,
how do you do that?
Buttons. There's no buttons.
Or like when they find a land phone, and what's a land phone?
Yeah,
landline phone.
Well, we may talk about some technology here in a bit.
Yes, we will. But as far as like new movie titles go, we did get confirmation on Creepshow 4K that looks to be coming very soon. A really great Empire video set coming from Arrow, which I will do a video on this for you guys that have it out sometime tomorrow. But we're getting Cellar Dweller, Robot. What was that? I can't think of the name. There's like the name just went out of my head. But Arena, Cellar Dweller, Dolls, Robot, Docs, Talks.
The Empire films.
Yeah, the Empire films. It's going to be a great set from Arrow. Looks amazing. That's coming. All the Indiana Jones are getting their standard 4 releases because they've been releasing the big box set, steelbooks. Now they're coming in standard 4K regular releases. What was all that? I was trying to think all that because I saw your video you did too right before 4K for you as well. Something. What was that? The pirate movie with Gina Davis might be coming to 4K.
Cutthroat Island.
Cutthroat Island. Yes, I can never remember that movie's name because yes, Robot Jocks. That's what it was called. I don't know why that escaped me. That last part of that it just escaped me.
Yeah, there was a few that got.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say, Tim Hayes, no, it will not be DVD. These are all going to be Blu-ray. It's going to be a big Blu-ray box set from Arrow Video, and we'll talk more about it.
Film master for Arena that I don't know about. Maybe I don't know. We did have a few announcements earlier, but there was a few that were just this afternoon, like you said, the Arrow Video Empire Collection with Dolls, Cellar Dweller, Dungeon Master, which is supposed to have like 3 different versions of the movie on it. Arena Robot Jocks, like you said. Yep. Arrow Films seems to be teasing some Psycho.
Yes, Psycho
I'm
2.
Curious about that.
Or 3 possibly.
Or more, who knows?
Yeah.
Excuse me. We also got fucking Mallrats. It's coming to 4K.
Yeah.
And I wish I could get excited for this, but
I have same here.
Anyway, but
I still got the Blu-ray that
I got the Blu-ray from Arrow too.
I got the Arrow Blu-ray too, and I mean, I still haven't even really watched that. But whatever.
It's just Kevin Smith is just like.
I know.
It's a shame.
You know. The only reason I really bought that was because it actually came with a poster sheet of the blueprints in the movie. I thought
it appears to be just like every other Arrow one. They're doing the same thing here again. It's just a 4K version. It looks like.
Yeah,
I know that's gonna make some people mad
because it is the 4K scan.
Yeah, and then Waterworld is getting released again. So if you missed out, I guess, before on the other cut, and you don't happen to have Universal's 4K, there's nothing. The only thing different about it is that it has the theatrical cut in 4K. That's it.
Okay.
So again, if you already have the previous Arrow disc and stuff like that, like it's almost cheaper to just go buy the Universal 4K.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have it, then it's cool because it's getting released again in case you missed out on it the first time. But I mean, yeah. Other than that, there was other new ones that we had covered on the show before.
Yeah, that you've covered and I've covered. I think we covered last week on here too. I think that's like all the newest. Oh, the Stephen King movie is getting a steelbook. Maximum Overdrive. Yeah. Maximum. I do love that movie.
Just show my video from earlier if you want.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and show that.
I don't give a shit.
I was trying to remember all of them, but yeah. Oh, Showgirls on 4K on Vinegar Syndrome. So yeah. You can show that if you want to show that, or if you guys just want to go ahead and, because I think we've covered them. But yeah, I don't mind showing the video at all.
I don't care.
Yeah, go ahead, show it. We'll pull up this just in case we missed anything here, guys, so you let you know what's coming.
Including the Paul Verhoeven classic Showgirls. There you go, Culture Casino in 4K. A Blade in the Dark in 4K. Freeway 2 in 4K. Along with Carlos Enrique Taboada, Primal Rage in 4K, Dog Tags in standard Blu-ray, and Babe in standard Blu-ray as well. So head on over to Vinegar Syndrome for those. The Indiana Jones films are getting standard releases from Paramount on June 6th of this year. Rumor is that we'll see John Wick Chapter 4 in June, and here's a look at the Walmart exclusive. Pi from 1998 is also getting a 4K release from A24. No release date yet. Next, the Nicolas Cage, Julianne Moore, Jessica Biel film is rumored to be coming in 4K from Paramount. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey will be seeing a Steelbook 4K release on the 19th of July. The Terry Gilliam classic Brazil is rumored to be released soon on 4K from Criterion. This is the second or third time we've heard rumors about this title. Conan the Barbarian is coming up again from Arrow. No date yet, but Maximum Overdrive is getting a steelbook. No word on if it's any new extras or a new scan of any type, but this has been released in the past by Lionsgate Blu-ray, so we're going to assume it's the same one here as well. Curse of Chucky is also rumored to be coming soon. We can imagine that's probably coming from Shout/Scream Factory. The Man in the Iron Mask is also rumored to be coming in 4K. Cutthroat Island is rumored to be coming in July from Studio Canal. We're getting some more Looney Tunes. This time it's called Looney Tunes Collector's Choice Volume 1. Hopefully there'll be some new cartoons in here because there's still quite a few that have yet to be released by Warner Brothers, and they've been double dipping quite a bit in their last few releases. Terrifier 2 is also getting a Steelbook 4K release on 4/25. And Meet the Parents is rumored to be coming from Universal, the Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller comedy classic. Tulsa King also got a release date of 6/6/23 from Paramount. No word on if there's any 4K, just a standard Blu-ray it seems like at this time, but looks like there is a Steelbook. The Nutty Professor is coming on May 30th from Paramount in 4K, the Jerry Lewis classic. And Crank will be coming as a 4K Best Buy exclusive on the 23rd of May in a Steelbook. I believe this has already been released before, but now it's getting a fancy Steelbook from Lionsgate. And that, kids, is all the news and rumors for your 4K and Blu-ray needs. And then here's a look at the Arrow set that we were talking about earlier as well.
Yeah.
There you go,
looks to be a pretty cool set. Rumored in June.
I hope you do more of those, Tom, because that was great.
Honestly, I might just do that from now on. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot of work, but it was like a half hour, 45 minutes of work, but like, plus I just put it up as a standard video too, so.
Plus, like, I've seen videos like that, you know, of like people like announcing shit, but like Tom, honestly, in my opinion, does it better just because he goes straight to the point. Right. He doesn't like because some of them are just like they talk so goddamn much. I'm like, just tell me the next fucking title.
I know. I tried when I do mine, which I haven't done one in a while, which I probably should, but there hasn't been really that many interesting. Yeah, I try not to talk too much, but it sometimes it gets hard not to. But it does. You put in like a good hour, an hour, half work into those videos, and sometimes they're only just like 5 minutes long.
Well, I mean, yours are great too. I always I always watch your stuff whenever I can, and Tom, when I like his just that one video just because
that's good.
No,
I know Tom. That's great.
That's good. It's great, but no, because I was gonna say that he'll add a joke somewhere, which I think is great. Not a lot of other YouTubers do that. Like the whole Showgirls bit.
Culture.
Yeah, for Culture.
Casino,
I was like, that's pretty funny.
Well, if you know him, yeah, because that's his favorite movie. He talks about it anytime he can.
I think he told me that once. I'm pretty sure.
It's like I said, the movie. I don't think it's a particularly good movie, but it was awesome to see Jesse from Saved by the Bell naked. I'm not gonna lie, that's the big selling point for me. For somebody
felt like a big troll to me. I'll be honest with you, because okay, here's full disclosure. I had one of those buddies who had one of those moms who's like, I don't give a shit what your kids do as long as nobody's driving.
Right. Yeah, I know them.
So she was all the one that would always take us to the R-rated movies when we couldn't get into them, or would rent the unrated movies. Because guess what, kids, even back then they would be like, oh, you're not 18, you can't get an unrated movie. Well, when Showgirls came out unrated, his mom rented it for us. Talk about one of the biggest trolls in the world. Like I said, we're watching this movie, the unrated cut, no less. And we're just like, that was the biggest bunch of to-do about nothing I've ever seen in my fucking life. I see better shit on Skinamax every fucking Friday night. This is a big bunch of shit, and the hottest scene in the movie, she's got her fucking period.
Yeah.
And it's ended with that. It's like, it is. This whole movie's one big cock tease troll by Verhoeven, and I swear you can hear him giggling.
Yeah. I agree, Sean. I mean, Jesse was hot, but Kelly was, that would have won me over big time. Yeah, that movie, it was just, I don't know, after I watched it, I was like, that movie actually meant absolutely nothing. There's no rhyme or reason to the plot whatsoever, other than she was the girl from the story or something. I don't know. It's been so long.
It is one of the most unsexiest films about sex I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, right.
That's why I probably watched half of it, because I just got kind of bored.
And I remember on the other hand, though, fucking Basic Instinct, though, at least that one, I was like, oh god, considering Paul Verhoeven prior to that, that one at least delivered, and we couldn't understand half of what was going on in the movie, but we didn't give a shit.
Right.
Because there's some hot scenes in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen clips of it, and I've seen the shit.
Just the beaver shot is only one of many, sir.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the only time you really get to see that part of her. But there's some pretty hot scenes in that. The couch scene's pretty hot. The knife, where she kills the guy is pretty hup till that point, anyway.
Up until she pulls out the ice pick.
I've definitely seen the one iconic scene in that movie. That's for sure.
Everybody has.
I'm gonna have to find that. I'm going to have to find that clip from Loaded Weapon, where they do that. You know what I'm talking about? Because every time I cannot think of the Sharon Stone scene without thinking of that. They're all leaning over waiting, and then she crosses her legs, and it's just a beaver sitting in her chair. You see this beaver shot?
Oh, I love that bit. The last good National Lampoon's movie, really, besides Van Wilder. Al Senior Trip was okay, but
yeah, Jeremy Renner. I forgot about that almost. Is that on Blu-ray yet? Because I think I still have the DVD. I don't think it's ever been on Blu-ray. I'm not sure.
No, I think I have it digitally in HD, but that's it. Pretty sure.
That one needs a Blu-ray.
Script Doctor's in that movie, believe it or not.
Script Doctor's in the movie. What? Now I'm gonna have to keep an eye out. Of course, he won't
tell us which part he plays, but
exactly.
He said he's just one of the kids, but that's because they shot a lot of it in Canada.
Right. Well, I'm going to break out my DVD after this, and I'm going to see if I can spot somebody that I think is Script Doctor.
It's a guy with no face.
No
a blue
face and
shirt
glasses.
and glasses. That's probably him.
Yeah. I do agree with Dan Blackred on the Wild Things thing. Like that movie actually has some story to it.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I vaguely remember it, but yeah.
Yeah, but you only get to see Denise Richards naked, which is fine, which is great, but
yeah,
could use a little more.
I know. I know. I feel
who
like
hasn't seen Denise Richards?
Exactly. I mean, it's like watching a movie where Denise Richards gets naked is like, well, I've seen that before, but it's, I mean, still good, but give me like Nev Campbell.
I know Nev didn't do any nude scenes, but did they have a body double for her at all? I can't remember now.
I don't remember.
Not that I know of, but I mean, the plot twist was kind of cool.
I don't even remember. I don't even know if I ever finished watching it, to be honest with you.
Oh.
All I remember is you get to see Kevin Bacon's schlong.
Yeah, I remember. That was the thing.
Like, holy shit.
Kevin's bacon.
That ain't no bacon. That's a ham. It's a fat ass ham. Making me feel like less of a man.
Now I'm ashamed of myself.
Not just for looking, but just because. All right. Well, what are we doing here?
Okay, Runner, you want to go first? You want to show your physical media, not your schlong?
Because I think, please don't show us your schlong. No, I believe you have one extra title than me and Greg do. I think so.
Yeah. No, but I'm gonna show this one first.
Quick, put it away.
You want to see it? I'm gonna show it to you.
I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna stand up, do it.
I'm not gonna pull a Gavin McGinnis.
Actually, I was doing Jim Morrison, but yeah, sure.
Oh,
Runner.
You want to see it?
Pup. You young pup.
You know the scene that Weird Al was making fun of in the Weird Al movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Weird Al movie. I don't know.
You've seen The Doors, though, right?
Yeah, of course.
He's like, you want to see it? I'm going to show it to you. You ready? And he sticks his finger out.
Oh, yeah.
You see it? And they arrest him.
Yeah. This, I like both of these movies. I know some people like the second one more. I like the first one a little bit more just because it's a lot more simple and it like takes place in really just one location, which is nice. I have showed this before, but I hadn't seen the second one till just recent, and it's probably the best, one of the best action movies ever, maybe even the best, next to John Wick 4, I would argue. The Raid.
Is that about killing bugs?
There's no, I don't think there's any bugs in the
Raid. Oh,
kills bugs dead. No, I've never actually seen those movies, believe it or not. I know what they are. I'm well aware of them, but I've never seen them.
Yeah, like I was gonna say you're probably aware of them, but like if you haven't seen them, you should.
And yeah, they're on my list. I've just never. I guess at this point, I might as well just wait for a 4K release of them.
Were these movies even shot on film?
Probably
maybe not.
Maybe. Okay. I'm sure. The Blu-ray is like less than $15, I think. Which it comes with 2 movies, so it's pretty worth it.
If I ever come across it, I'll pick it up.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really need to see them. I know there's been talk. They've been talking about remaking them here in America. So, which is
they already did. It's called Dread.
Yeah,
as I said, Dread is basically a remake of it. Yeah, Dread is a pretty good movie, though. I do like Dread.
Dread's great. Dread is good. I'm trying to think if The Raid came after or before Dread.
Oh no, The Raid was first.
Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't sure.
I'm sorry, I was just laughing. The Raid versus the Fly crossover movie is pretty good.
Help me!
Help me! Shh.
Ended the movie. No, but you should watch. You should watch The Raid. Greg, whenever
I do
you
want to
can.
see them. Like Tom said, they are also on my list as well. Which I'm hoping to get to them eventually.
I have them on digital, and if you want, we can do like a private watch party sometime. I don't know.
If I ever have time.
Because if you ever have time, yeah. Because the rookie critic hasn't seen these movies yet, and I've been telling him because it was on his list, and I told him like, dude, you gotta watch The Raid. Like, you gotta watch those movies. They're fucking great.
All right, cool.
No, the first one's incredible. The first one's a goddamn masterpiece. Maybe even the best action movie of all time. I agree. The Raid 2 is good. The Raid 2 is good. It's got a lot of good action scenes too. I kind of like how grounded, and I like the runtime a lot more for the first one too.
Okay, cool. I've heard the action scenes are spectacular, and I'm pretty sure like the Daredevil show copied its hallway scene from a scene from The Raid. So
it's very similar. Yes, it's very similar.
Yeah.
It's definitely similar. Raid 2, you can tell that they had a higher budget for the second movie than the first one, but yeah, good movies. Very good. It's probably some of the best action movies of all time, arguably. I'd say it's a better action movie than Die Hard.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I can say that. Even if it's a good action flick, I don't know if I can say that.
You probably can't. I just think it's a better action movie all around. Like, Die Hard's great. It is damn good, but this is probably the best.
Maybe a good modern action flick.
I don't know if I can say it's better than action. I mean a good action flick, like, all around.
I'll have to watch them and see, but I probably would never say that personally, even if I do like the movies.
Yeah, I mean, you probably won't think that, but because this one is like the most like realistic of the action movies, I'd say.
Okay. I wish we could talk more about it, but neither of us have seen it. But
yeah, I know that, which sucks.
But it happens sometimes.
I only brought this because I'm trying to watch some of the other action movies that I haven't seen that I have in my collection because of John Wick 4. I'm gonna get to the Ip Man movies with Donnie Yen.
No, they're not too bad. I've seen a couple of those, one or two.
Yeah, I have the 4 movie collection on Blu-ray. I don't have the 4Ks yet, but I only want to watch those because Donnie Yen was like the best character in John Wick 4.
Cool. Haven't seen that one yet either, so we'll get to it.
Please watch it in the theater, Greg. I'm sorry.
If I can get to the theater,
but you gotta. Oh my god! Trust me, if you do, you're gonna be like, "Holy shit, Runner was right." I can't wait. I can't wait for you to say that if that happens.
Runner, I wouldn't say you were right because everybody's saying the same thing you're saying. So.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. But if you can, you should, because you'll feel good. You'll feel great.
If I can get to the theater, I will. But this is a pretty decent, good first pick, I guess. I've never seen them, but I've heard good things. Tom, let's go to you if you're ready for your first pick of the night.
Sure. Are we going to do the one that we got together, or are we going to do a different one first?
We can do that one.
All right. Well, first, we have one of the movies that came out at the end of last year and actually kind of gave Avatar a run for its money for a minute or two, and probably could have done better had it more theaters to play in, and that is Megan, which is ostensibly what I said Child's Play should have been, the remake anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was watching it.
I loved this movie. I thought it was excellent from beginning to end. I love so much about it. I don't even know where to begin, but
she's legit creepy too. It is legit creepy. It's like what they say where you're like seeing this like human-esque type figure, but you know it's not human, so it makes it even more creepier. So it was crazy. Like some of when she comes out of the shadows in that one scene in that woman's house, It just like I like freaking that scared me. I thought that was a great scene.
Yeah, and I really like how it dealt with just kind of like how social media and other like phones and other smart stuff is really getting in the way of our
Right.
lives and kids' lives, and just this whole idea of a aunt kind of shrugging off her responsibility of her recently, adopted niece
Niece, yeah.
who lost her parents, in a horrible
Yep.
accident. So like, there's a lot that's going on in this movie, and I thought they handled it pretty well. I mean, I know the movie got some bad reviews, but for the most part, I know it was received pretty well, and yeah, I enjoed it quite a bit.
So did I. Yeah, I mean it's
I heard mostly good things about this movie. I didn't see it in the theater just because I had no interest in it at all. I was just like, because when I watched the trailers, I'm like, this is something I'd probably watch when it, hits home
I kind of
video.
wish I had gone now, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, like for what I've heard from you guys and a couple of my other friends have seen, they're like,
Because
yeah,
Greg's
like,
light, right? Like the special effects are amazing. Like
Mhm.
you believe she's, even if you know how it was done, you believe that she's this robot. They do such a good job with it.
The way she moves, like it's a great combination of actual puppetry because they use
Right.
an actual puppet and a little girl in a costume, and it
Yep.
just like blends together.
With some
And,
CGI manipulation, other
yeah, with
times
some
it's not.
CGI,
But
yeah, like basically for the face and stuff and everything. Yeah, but and it's creepy. It's funny. It's definitely got a child's play vibe to it. I felt like the original. I know it's like
that's
the
why
remake.
that's why I didn't see it because I was afraid it would be a child.
it's a better
No.
version of the Child's Play remake,
Yeah,
is what
so
it is.
like the remake was trying to say like, this is AI, buddy. I'm buddy, which is stupid because no kid's going to want a singing doll like that. A kid
No,
would want
but
a
this you
doll
can
like
see-
Megan.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see how because like Tom was talking about like the aunt, even when the psychiatrist says it's like I thought you were supposed to raise her, not this doll. You've effectively taken parenting away from yourself and given it to this doll, to this child. And it's like you can see how we could, as a society, could be so consumed with our gadgets and stuff that we just leave our kids to the side and
And she gets
focus
addicted
on
to
herself.
Megan too. Like,
Yeah,
just
she
like,
becomes full on addicted to Megan. Like when she like takes her away and she freaks out, she kicks her in the back of the chair when she's driving. Like, yeah, you could totally see a kid acting that way.
Well, and I mean, you can like, okay, like, surely, like, you could throw some shit at this movie. Like, yeah, you would think they would have thought of some fail safes to put in Megan ahead of time. That was pretty stupid.
Yeah. You would think, but they kind of do, with like when the dog bites her neck and stuff. So,
I mean, but at that point, you're just kind of like, oh, because they kind of let it go because you're kind of like, okay, I get it, because the aunt is this nerdy engineer type, so she's just more like, the whole Jurassic Park thing. You were more concerned with whether or not you could, not thinking about whether or not you should, right? Like,
right.
And I love the supporting cast here. It's great. I'm not a big fan of usually when animals get hurt in films, but I felt it was handled pretty well here. Same thing. I'm curious, like, how much they really had to have changed to get an R rating, because even the unrated version is pretty tame. I mean, there's a few bits, but nothing. Like, the worst one I would say is probably where she kills the one person in the garage, and probably the ear bit. Like, those two bits are probably the worst of the entire film.
Yeah.
Outside of that, they're pretty benign or tame, and in fact, a lot more people live than you would think. I mean, of course, the one we see in the trailer is pretty gruesome too, with the the paper cutter.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But I'm gonna be honest. Like people were talking a little bit about that they wanted the more gore, and I kind of like the way it was handled because it
Did you watch
less
the
is
unrated
more.
or the regular cut?
Actually, I watched the regular cut because I didn't realize I had the unrated cut at the time when I watched it.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't realize it till afterwards, but I did skim through it.
Like the running time is almost exactly the same.
Yeah,
so I'm
it's like
assuming it's just very little bits and pieces and stuff they maybe just changed with CGI or something like that is what I'm thinking. Like I'm assuming, like I think somebody already told me, like the scene in the elevator, like you see her swipe,
scene,
but you don't actually see the cut in the unrated version. In the rated version, you see her cut his throat open. Right.
Yeah.
So like there's just things like that basically.
But I mean, I didn't mind that they didn't show a whole lot of that because it kind of, I think in this case it was less is more. It made it more creepy that way.
A lot
but
of
that
good
was a great
setup and
scene.
payoff, because I mean, I like the whole idea. You know, it starts out she's working on like this Furby thing, and they're pushing her to, you know, make it cheaper because they want to because they're getting undersold by the competition. But she wants to pursue basically Megan. So I mean, it already starts out. She's already been working on Megan, but she gets in a bunch of trouble because she spent like $100,000 of the company's money on this hard drive for Megan or whatever it is that she brought in. And so then that goes a little awry, but she just all of a sudden gets this spark, and I can see, like, that's where I said I can see where her overlooking some things, but like, because that's the only thing the movie kind of hinges on, really, if you think about it. But no, they do a pretty great job of building up the suspense and the tension of what is she going to do, what is she capable of, and just how she calculates everything. And they really get into how you know, how she is this AI learning machine basically, and how, you know, she soaks up everything, and I mean everything, and she does things even though she's not supposed to. Like, she kind of totally takes control of herself, and I really like they don't do too many heavy hand, like, there's the messaging's there, but it's not like heavy-handed messaging, right? It's the classic, you know, it's basically like you would expect to see in like a Twilight Zone episode, you know, that kind of a thing, where clearly there's a message here, but they're not like hitting you over the freaking head with it. Even though it is there and pretty upfront, there's other little messages throughout too. Like, even on the Megan side of things, like, you know, a few throwaway lines here and there, but you can clearly get where she's coming from too. Cause she's like, you know, everybody's like, what are you? And she's like, I'm asking myself the same question, you know, like,
same question.
So like, there's little things like that I like, you know, and there's a little bit of a setup for a sequel, not to spoil too much, but it's not like,
that I know it's
not like telegraphed. So like, you know, that's what I love about it. It's a self-contained story. It's not building up to something else. It is what it is, as it is. If they don't make another one, so be it. But you know what? If they do, the best part is there's so much more cool shit they can do in a sequel.
Yeah. Well, it has been confirmed they are making a Megan sequel. So.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they did confirm that it is a sequel, which would be interesting to see. I don't want to spoil either thing, but it'd be interesting to see if they try to do something like Child's Play, where you know, I don't want. How can I say? I don't want to spoil the movie because, like, you know how he different bodies. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be interesting to see if they do something like that, or if it'll be something.
Yeah, they tease that a little bit, which is something that the Child's Play remake played with a little bit. And that's where I was saying is like, you know what, there is a good movie here in Child's Play, but the problem with the Child's Play remake is every time it tries to remind you that it's a Child's Play remake.
Yeah.
And that's what I kept saying is if they would have just kept going this course of, this is not Chucky like you're used to, this is Buddy. Right? At that point, when I got about halfway into the movie, I'm like, I just wish they would have made it Buddy instead. I don't give a fuck if they'd have still called it Child's Play or not. That's ancillary at this point, because if they would have stuck with it, kind of reminded me of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake at a point. It's like wasted opportunity, because you actually get into it and you're like, I don't want to see this shit. And then they actually set up this idea that, oh, wait, maybe Freddy was innocent. And they actually spend about 45 minutes of the movie exploring that possibility, only to dump it on its head at the end.
Yeah.
Right? Like, right. And that's kind of what Child's Play is, right? Like, I mean, only it's kind of lopsided. It's more like a lot of the front loaded parts are more like reminding you that it's Child's Play. I mean, when you get to the last half is more like Megan, right? And there's actually, I'm surprised we didn't get a scene like at the end of Child's Play, like in Megan, because that was one of the best bits in Child's Play is when, you know, and that's why I don't have so much of a problem with Chucky spreading himself around either, because that's what I thought was funny at the end of the newer remake is when he's infested all the other smart toys. You know, so like, and that's the thing is you can have so much fun with this concept, because I even came up with a similar concept once already that I'm still kind of nursing, and I don't know if it's too close to Megan or not, but it's kind of like Megan, but it's like, it was basically, I got the inspiration after watching Child's Play. I'm like, fuck, they just need to do this as a regular story. Only mine's a little more action oriented. It was called SAM, and it stands for Security and Maintenance. It's basically about people, you know, getting these AI machines to do shit in their house.
Right.
Well, and this one this one dad who buys one for his family, he's always gone. And the robot, and this is where it's maybe I have to work with it a little bit because it gets a little too much like Megan. The robot is sympathetic to the boy because he's sad that the dad's never around. So he feels like the boy's being hurt because of that. So when the dad's gone, he locks down the house. He has like complete control over everything, and the dad can't get in. So then the second half of the movie, or the whole last 2/3 of the movie, is basically like a Die Hard movie, but it's only he's trying to get in, the house
Yeah.
and battle this robot and all the security features at the same time, right? Like, so it's this whole package that comes with, right? You know, it's like he's your security and your maintenance. He takes care of everything in your home, and that's cool. It's the same kind of concept as we're giving over all this control to AI and what it could do if it just decides that one day, you know, fuck you. Like,
yeah.
That's kind of what this movie is too, in a way.
Yeah, and it almost did feel like she was sort of becoming human in a way as well too. But you know, it was just a really fun movie. I couldn't believe it because
in a believable way, because that's what I was saying with the AI technology. Because even it starts getting beyond what the programmers can even understand.
Yeah, and it's like she really is
learning,
to adapting,
mutate, basically, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, evolve, if you want to say evolve.
There you go. That's a better term. Yeah, she starts to evolve and move beyond her parameters, and that's the other thing she always bitches about is she was never given any parameters to begin with.
Yeah, it's like you never gave me any parameters, she says. But it's a pretty darn good movie. I was surprised, because you know, sometimes you hear something about a movie being so good, or some people like actually enjoyed it, and you kind of watch it and you go, well, I didn't like it, but this one I enjoyed.
I kind of had the opposite of what I had. Like, I enjoyed Cocaine Bear, but like everybody had kind of beat that movie down so much. That's probably the only reason I liked it.
Yeah,
I went into this one. I was afraid. I was like, okay, everybody's been talking this one up. I'm going to end up hating this one you watch. And I'm pleasantly surprised that I loved it. I loved the pacing. I love that it doesn't waste any fucking time getting into the movie. Mm-hmm. We don't have, I mean, I do like sometimes when they build stuff, but there's building in this movie, but it's not building up to seeing Megan. Megan's up there right up front, right? Like, they don't piss around. She's there. It's the buildup is her finally trying to figure out her world and where that line ends and begins of what her duties are, basically, is because really her only parameters are to protect that girl. Right. And you can see that where that's obviously a problem to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, how do you mean protect this girl? What should I do? You know, and just like the way they bond, it's really great. And I don't know, man. The good thing about this is, like, we talk a lot about, you know, movies today. It had story, it had character development, it had a plot. Like you said, there is messaging in there, but it's not beat.
And they don't even really answer all the messaging either, right? Like, I mean, they leave it open for you in a lot of ways. I mean, clearly there's some things they're trying to say here.
Yeah, there's like, it's presented to you like, huh? But then they don't like keep going on at it over and over and over and over. And that's not just what the whole movie is all about. But
exactly.
It was a fun movie.
Because it's also, like I said, it's a nice blend of all these ideas of us allowing AI technology to take over our lives, the grieving process. There's so much here to unpack as far as, like, this is classic kind of movie making. Like, these are the kind of movies I miss. And the fact that this is just a kind of a toss away horror flick, it almost is a disservice to the movie in a weird way. Because, I mean, none of these actors outside of the child actor is probably like anybody I'd write home about. Even the main chick, what's her name in the movie? I don't even remember.
Oh yeah, what was her name in the movie? I don't remember her name, but I know she's from
Allison Williams or whatever.
Yeah, Allison Williams.
But like, she's not even that great of an actress. The kid's probably the best actress in the whole movie, besides the miracle that is Megan. And really, that's the thing that works, right? Megan works. You like her attitude works. Whoever they did pick to do her voice. Her mannerisms with the 12-year-old dance, she's actually won awards and stuff for her dancing and stuff like that. She's in the suit sometimes. In the outfit, the puppeteers that did an amazing flipping job. I mean, it just the amount of work that went to bringing Megan to life, and she's almost completely practical. That's the other thing. Like, there's very little that is manipulation, or it's usually just like you said, like something on the mask. Or if she's doing like a stunt, they'll have to do facial features. But most of the time, if she's having a dialogue scene, that is the puppet.
It's just like standing like the top half of it and the arms of the puppeteers, and the guy behind her moving her head and controlling it with the remote for the mouth and everything. Yep, just like Chucky. That's what I said when I say it's got a Child's Play vibe to it, and I don't mean that it's trying to copy Child's Play. It feels like it's in like a Child's
spiritual successor.
Yeah, like it just could have been almost like a spin-off movie of the original Child's Play or something. You know what I mean? It's got that vibe to it. It's not trying to say, hey, look, we're the new Chucky. Hey, we're better than Chucky, or we can do it. The Child's Play movie.
Despite I did love the Twitter back and forth between the Chucky Twitter and the Megan Twitter was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was pretty fucking funny. Yeah, you go the official Chucky Twitter and the official Megan Twitter were going back and forth the week Megan came out. Chucky was all like, "Come get some bitch," and she's like, "Okay, boomer," and shit like that.
Oh, I think I did see that. That was pretty funny. I remember the cocaine bear Twitter was like replying to other like.
The problem with Cocaine Bear is it was a better concept and a better advertising campaign than the movie actually was. The best parts are in the movie or in the trailer.
Trailer.
Like I did like the movie. I didn't hate it.
I did too. But
it was one of those movies like Snakes on a Plane and some of these other ones where it's like you just didn't really think much past the concept, didn't you? You did not really think about what you were going to do with this because there is a gold mine here. And you scratch the surface of the dirt just to kind of see the gold, but you haven't exactly mined it, right? Like, I mean, it's not like it's a dead franchise. You could do 2 Cocaine Bears or 3 Cocaine Bears and it still works and you can add more to it. But I agree with a lot of people where it totally didn't know what it wanted to be. It should have embraced the idea that it was like a batshit crazy, play up the 80s factor, play up the gore. Really, really go like because the best scene in the movie is the ambulance scene, and most people agree.
I agree.
The cabin and the ambulance scene, and that right there is what this movie should have been, right?
Yeah, I agree. Like going out of the theater, I'm like, because I was talking because I went with my dad because my dad wanted to see it with me, and he didn't think much of it. He was just like, yeah, it's Cocaine Bear. Like that was his response, and I had said like, yeah, I had fun with the movie overall, but tonally it doesn't know what it wants to be. And I think that's something that Elizabeth Banks doesn't know to do as a director.
No, and you need somebody like a Sam Raimi or a James Gunn for that.
Thank you. Yeah. I think one
Sam of those guys would have taken this and just ran with it because like that's the thing is he could take that scene like the ambulance scene and that's what made me laugh was like her falling flat on her face and I don't give a fuck how gory it is at that point because it's so beyond, right? It's Granguino or whatever you want to call it to where it's just totally like fucking throwing everything up in the air. I don't care. Like let it fly like confetti, as they say or whatever. Like at that point, I mean, just go for it. Because Ray Liotta seemed like the only one who was in the movie who was like taking it any serious.
He's barely in it.
He's barely in it, but I mean, he's doing I've seen a lot of people say that he was overacting or acting in the wrong movie. I was like, no, actually, I think he's the only one who really got this. Because that's the thing is all these characters in the movie, they need to play it 110% straight. This is like Airplane, right? So he's doing it correctly. That the reason why we dig the forest ranger scene is because she's doing it correctly. Carrie Russell does not know what fucking movie she's in. The kid knows what movie he's in. That 10-year-old kid sold it better than anybody else in some of those scenes with the
you're not wrong.
Some of that shit with the what's his face, the other comedian guy in the tree. Oh God!
Shit!
The guy with the mustache. He's
I know what you're talking about.
I'm trying to think of the other thing he was from, but like, yeah. Anyway, he's the gay character, the other thing or whatever. But like, yeah, the one that the ranger wants to doink that has no clearly no designs in her. But like, that is what this movie should have been, right there. Like that. Yeah. And then you got Ray Liotta on one end of the forest. Killing his way to the cocaine. You got the bear on the other end of the forest killing his way to the cocaine. And then at the end, it should have just been this wild fucking Ray Liotta ripping his shirt off, snorting a whole shit ton of cocaine and going, all right, motherfucker, it's on. And he takes out 2 guns and he just goes blazing at the bear. That should have been the end of this movie is those 2 just fucking duking it out, right? Like,
that would have been cool.
I don't know if you've seen it yet, Greg, but like, it's fun, but it's not as fun as it could be, right? Like,
no, it could be better. Absolutely.
It's just another rewrite and recut away from being like, like B-movie greatness.
Yeah, I agree. And if it had one more rewrite, it would have been
First of all, you got to get rid of Solo and Ice Cube Jr. Just fucking chuck those characters. They're unnecessary.
Everything they're in is not very good.
I agree with getting rid of the Solo dude. I mean,
the Ice Cube character I liked, but their shit is kind of unnecessary once it comes down to the end of the movie. His character,
I don't know, his character is kind of fun in my opinion.
Look, because here's the thing, Greg. Here's this movie's message, right? It's all about parenting.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about horrible parents, down to the point where even the Cocaine Bear spoilers is a parent.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole chain of this whole thing. Carrie Russell, her kid, skips school with this other kid, so she's off looking for her kid. And you got Ray Liotta, whose kid is who he sends with Ice Cube Jr. on this deal. And his kid is... And this is another thing they could have played with and had some more fun with. And I was like, wait a minute here. They really fucked that up. Because they had this situation with the Solo kid. He's supposed to be working with his dad, who's this hard-ass coke dealer, right? And his dad's bitching because he's raising his kid. Now, here's the thing that ruins that whole dichotomy and makes it unfunny. The woman died, okay? If they would have just had it where she just left him like some floozy, it would have worked. And they fucked that. It's like, why did you do that? Because now you just made... that first two scenes where we kind of laughed at this character for acting pathetic, now we feel bad for laughing at him.
Right.
Because they kick it off like he's just this pathetic, I can't get over this chick bit. And then you realize, oh, his fucking wife died and he's stuck with that's fucking sad. That's like trying to put cancer in a Thor movie.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Not wrong.
No, and that's where it kind of derailed for me. I mean, the rest of the movie's fun, but like those characters, that's why I couldn't dig it. I'm like, if you would have just made it to where he was just hung up on this broad and she left him and everybody else is like, move on. And the joke should have been, it's like, it's been like 2 fucking years, dude. You know, like, like she left you a long fucking, you were barely even with her. You know, like shit like that, like just, but no, instead it's this really sad fucking kind of thing. You're like, oh, that's sad. His wife died and his dad's bitching because he's raising the kid while his kid clearly needs some fucking therapy. Right? Like that's where you end up with that situation. I mean, at least they don't play it up so much later on. The only thing they kind of keep into it is he just doesn't want to be there kind of thing. So like,
right.
And then the whole thing is just about horrible parents and how they suck. At the end of the day. But the Cocaine Bear bits are amazing. Like all the stuff with the bear is great. It's like if they just put a little bit more of that in there, stuck with some of these other fun characters, like the paramedics and the ranger and her assistant guy, whatever he is, and those characters would have been funny. The 4 kids, the punk kids, that shit was funny. Like those characters were good. The rest of the characters not so much. Ice Cube was okay, but the other cop. Like half of the cast sucks, half the characters suck, all the cops suck.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, both cops suck without giving too much away, and it just there's half a good movie here, half a shit movie here. If I wish I'd have got my hands on this with Script Doctor and I've been like, dude, let's fucking fix this thing. This should be Scarface with bears, and it's like fucking, I don't know what this is right now, but it's like...
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't going into the movie thinking it was going to be all that great. Maybe that's why I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either. I mean, again, it sounds like I did, but if you go watch my quick review of it after watching it, I enjoyed it for what it was. Will I watch it again? Maybe.
Didn't you do like a short?
Yeah.
On YouTube? Yeah.
Same thing with Megan, but I'll watch this a lot faster than I'll ever watch Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, Megan was pretty.
In fact, I'm looking forward to the sequel of this a lot more than I am Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go with that.
Have a sequel?
That's the thing. I don't know if it did well enough at the box office. It could have, but the word of mouth, I think, killed it.
If it does, maybe they'll get a better director and writer.
I'll be honest with you. As much as I had fun with Cocaine Bear, I'd rather watch Snakes on a Plane over Cocaine Bear.
Well, because at least Snakes on the Plane at least is a little closer to what it was meant to be. It was the adding of all the extra shit to make it goofy.
A snake bites a chick's tit. Like, it's amazing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. All the reshoot stuff they did by the time they see that was a movie that late in the game they realized, oh shit, we've got a joke here. Because the original film was shot more serious. I don't know if you know this, Runner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then when the trailer came out, they're like, what? Snakes on a plane? What the fuck is that? And you got Samuel Jackson, and everybody made the meme before it was in the movie. Like, everybody's like, oh, there's got to be a scene in here where he says, I'm so sick of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Right.
And everybody's like, well, shit, it's PG-13. Not only do we not have that, we don't even have, like, a shit ton of, like, gore and stuff in this movie. So they went back way after the fact. We're talking months later. Like, the movie was already locked and done. And they went back and reshot a bunch of shit with a bunch of snakes attacking people and goofiness and all the B-movie type shit, along with Samuel Jackson screeching, I'm sick of all these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. And that's the thing that saved that movie's ass, really, at the end of the day, if you think about it. And something like that should have happened to Cocaine Bear. The moment they saw the response to that first fucking trailer, they should have went back and completely edited this movie and maybe reshot some stuff and been like, no, we need to go for it. Because we've got a gold mine sitting here and we fucked it up now. I mean,
you're not wrong.
Because unfortunately, it was like it wasn't even like an actual writing gig. It was, I can't remember who wrote it, but they wrote it as a spec script. And it was just to get them, I can't remember if it was just a meeting or something for a class or something like that, which that doesn't mean anything. There's plenty of films that have come from those kind of things, but they usually get rewritten a few times. Like, from what I've heard about this, I don't even think it got rewritten all that much. And then What's-Her-Face came on board, and I think this is way out of her league, Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, this was not type of movie that she should be directing.
I honestly, she should just stick to acting, in my opinion.
And actually, after watching it, at first I laughed and didn't believe her when she said I've never done cocaine before, but after watching the movie, I'm pretty convinced she's never done cocaine before. Because anybody who's even done it or been around anybody who's done it knows there's a gold mine here you missed out on, and you don't even understand how coke works, clearly. Like,
she was just, it would be funny, right?
And that's just it. A lot of these jokes fall as flat as the bear does on the dude. It's like, that's the joke. He passes out on the dude for like 5-10 minutes or whatever. It's like, that's not how the coke works. Like,
it's not how the force works.
First of all, the amount of coke that bear would have done at that point, I mean, obviously we know in real life it killed him. That would have kept him up for like 48 hours. Like, this bullshit of him passing out like that was so stupid. I'm like, wait a minute here. That's not how it works.
It's like that scene in Horrible Bosses with Colin Farrell. It's like, where does he find the energy? Oh, that's right, coke.
Yeah, and look, I've never done a shit ton of coke. I've never been an addict. I've done it before. Right? I'm not going to lie, but I'll tell you what, it kept me up for a long fucking time. It was like 2 days, man. I was like, I can never do this shit again. Fuck that.
Happens. But whose turn is it? Who's
Sorry about that. Well, we both went, so I don't know if we want to jump back down to Runner then now. Or
Runner, you want to go?
Did Greg go?
I did Megan with Tom.
Oh, you have Megan too. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, sis. What you got?
That sounds wrong. That sounds almost like a porno.
I did Megan together.
We did a threesome.
I couldn't look him in the eyes though.
Never make eye contact with
Never make contact, man. Finger cuffs.
Because if you make eye contact, then it means you might be gay. I've heard in some places that it turns you gay.
Oh. Wow.
That's how it happens. You're fucking around thinking you're having a great time with your buddy, finger cuffing some chick. Next thing you know, you're in love with him. It happens. Love works in mysterious ways.
Runner's thinking about it now.
Now Runner gets to talk about his
movie. What do you got, Runner?
All right, so I'm going to start with a really weird B-rated cheesy sci-fi flick that came out on 4K from Paramount, and I honestly paid way too much for this, considering there's no special features at all. And I was like I was like on my phone half the time watching this movie. The Core.
The Core. You know, I have
I
never
didn't
seen
get that yet. Thought I ordered it.
Yeah. I've never actually seen The Core. It never really interested me, so I never bothered to watch it.
I don't remember it, but I've seen it years ago.
It's not bad. There are parts
No,
of
I
it
guess
that
I didn't order it. Oh well.
There are parts of it that are fun.
Is this one of the ones that came out around like Armageddon and all those movies came out?
Yeah,
it's one of
some
those
similar
disaster.
time period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of weird shit happens on Earth, and it's all because the core is not running the way it should, and they have to like fix the cycle and shit.
That's about all he knows because he was on his phone.
Yeah, I know. It's like no, the parts where it's like there are parts to it where I just got so fucking bored. But like when they start like making the machine and they go like underground and stuff, that's when I'm like, okay, finally.
Who's in the movie? It says amazing cast.
Aaron Eckhart, Hilary Swank. Those are the only two I know that are in it. And Aaron Eckhart, I'm gonna be honest with you, his acting's not even that great in the movie. he was way better in The Dark Knight.
I've never seen it. It just never interests me. But I don't know. I would maybe probably give it a shot to see it again, just to see.
Yeah, it's a really dumb idea. Oh yeah, Stanley Tucci. I forgot he was in it.
Stanley Tucci. That's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He was probably one of the better parts in the movie. I don't dislike this movie. There were just parts of it like where I was just bored. Like when they're talking to like the government and shit, I was just like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Once they start like going to this one guy who like builds the machine and they try to give him all this money just so he can build it in like 3 months or whatever, or 3 weeks or whatever, however long it took just to dig a big ass fucking hole to the ground. And a ton of people fucking die.
Wouldn't it be quicker to teach astronauts how to drill a hole?
I love Armageddon. Armageddon is just like nonsense. What's you say to Ben Affleck? Shut the fuck up, Ben.
Just shut the fuck up, Ben.
Shut the fuck up, Ben.
I haven't seen Armageddon yet. I need to.
You've never seen Armageddon?
As big as fan as you are of Ben Affleck, you've never seen Armageddon.
I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of Ben Affleck. I like him as an actor, but like I haven't seen. He's not like, I don't know. I like Ben Affleck, but
well, it's almost worth it just to get it on DVD for the commentary.
Yeah, I know.
Where I got that clip from, because Ben Affleck is drunk as hell when he's doing.
Is it the Criterion DVD?
Yeah, you can get it pretty cheap through the Disney Movie Club actually, and I think Amazon has it pretty cheap now too. It's just the DVD. I mean, it has a Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray's just the theatrical cut, and it has no special features.
Oh, really?
Jesus. Yeah. The Criterion one is the director's cut, plus it has a bunch of special features, but it is only DVD. So
you would think they'd have a 4K of that by now.
I'm sure it's coming eventually.
It would have to. I'd love a 4K of The Rock. I
got to imagine now that Disney said they're going to get back into the physical media game. I got to think The Rock.
It has to.
Like, Con Air.
Con Air.
Armageddon. All those have got to be ones that got to be. Tombstone.
Crimson Tide, man. Please give me Crimson Tide on 4K.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think that has been on 4K yet, has it?
No. And it's a Tony Scott movie, so I hope it looks good.
Are you sure? Or am I thinking of? Oh, I'm probably thinking of Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, no, Hunt for Red October. That's Paramount, and that already has.
Yeah, and that's Sean Connery, and the other one's Gene Hackman.
Yeah, was it Crimson Tide? That's Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, there's
the The Rock has one of the best Nick Cage lines ever. So how in Zeus's butthole did you get out of yourself?
There's supposedly a theory that The Rock is a James Bond sequel. That Sean Connery's James Bond.
They made a reference.
I didn't watch the video, but somebody done a YouTube video on it saying they're like breaking it down about how The Rock is actually a sequel to James Bond and Sean Connery is playing James Bond. I was like, okay, but I never watched the video.
No, because if you watch The Rock, because I saw it not too long ago, so that's why I know this.
Yeah, I remember. I think you brought it on.
No, Sean Connery's. No, you brought on Con Air.
No, I think you brought on The Rock, didn't you?
Me?
Yeah, didn't you bring on the Blu-ray or something?
No, I don't know The Rock.
Okay, I thought for a minute there, I thought you did.
I do, but I didn't bring it on.
Yeah, I don't own The Rock on physical yet. I'm only gonna wait just because I want a 4K for that movie when it comes out. But no, Sean Connery in The Rock, he says that he's like part of British intelligence and stuff, or like a British like spy agent thing or something. Like it was a James Bond reference.
Yeah,
like that, basically like trying to like being like, oh, just it. That was a little taste for like, that was like spices right there for movie buffs and stuff.
How did you wind up in here? I fucked the prom queen.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right. No, I mixed my own version of that in my head now.
Yeah.
Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. She was the prom queen.
She vaporized out to sea. All right.
Hold on a second. Oh shit! I gotta find it real quick.
Okay, but
I
do need to see the core. It's, even though I don't know if I will ever like it or not, but I need to see it. But I do like what Brandon Brad says here. Says the core mentioned unobitainium or
unobtainium.
Unobtainium. Okay, this was also an Avatar.
Hold on a second.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of yourself?
Greatest line in the movie.
Honey, I know who killed JFK. But with that, whose turn is it now? Is it me or you, Tom? Who wants to go? Since we did the last pick together.
I'll go next if you want me to.
Okay.
Let's do it this way. This is one that I have not seen in a long time, so I was afraid about it holding up or not, because I remember being a big fan of it when I was a kid, and Shout recently released it in one of their poor, overpriced releases, let's say. Because let's just say if this was a Mill Creek release and it was only $10, wouldn't be bitching. But this is a Shout release with absolutely no special features whatsoever and a scan that looks like it was run through a bunch of mud before it was scanned. It's not a very good scan at all. It's probably from an old DVD scan. But the movie, I can say, at least holds up somewhat. I mean, it's not nearly as good as when I was younger. I can see why it got so many bad reviews and wound up on Siskel and Ebert's worst films of the year list in 1987. But the movie does star a pre-Full House Bob Saget is in it, let's say. He's one of the characters. Randall Tex Cobb is in it. And Richard Pryor is in it, and the movie is called Critical Condition.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one or not.
Yes.
Nope.
It's about a con man who is
classic Richard Pryor.
Yeah, who is at a hospital because he's trying to plead insanity. And he pretends to be a doctor to try and escape when there's a storm that's knocked out the bridge and the power let's go.
Dr. Giggles.
Yeah, kind of.
Only
it's
yeah.
the top, not the kind of giggles you're thinking of.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it actually held up pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, of course, it's a bit. Like I said, I can see now in retrospect why a lot of critics just shat all over this movie. Richard Pryor is looking a bit ragged in this film.
It's the one near the end of his
latter part of it when he started. Yeah, when what does he have? Parkinson's? I can't remember that or MS. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
But whatever, you could start to tell it was starting to kind of take its toll on him because he's not really able to do any of the action scenes already. Like a lot of the stuff is delegated action. I noticed in the movie this time out. But it's still pretty fun. There's some fun stuff in it. There's some fun character actors that make up the hospital. I wish I could recommend it, but not for the price.
Yeah, especially, I mean, no special features, and it's coming from Shout, and I don't think I could spend that much money on it because I've seen it, but it's been a long time since I've seen it.
What's the price on that again?
Usually like 17 or more. I've seen it for. I think I got it for like $17.77 was the release price.
Okay.
Like if it dips down to like 12, 10, I'd say yeah, it's maybe worth it. But as a straight disc as is, no.
Yeah,
I'd wait till the price drops.
I was gonna say I'd rather get it for like less than $10.
I wonder if they'll ever put out Moving. I liked Moving. That was near the end of his career, but digital. I like that one.
That one's actually better than this movie, and it still holds up because I actually watched that. I mean, batshit crazy movie. But.
It is. Randy Quaid, his neighbor, Dana Carvey driving his car.
Too bad, we'll be taking it with us.
No, when they get there, it's all gone, and it's like, you were joking.
What the hell did you do to my house?
So good. Now that is.
We said we were taking it with us. I thought you were kidding. No, we were kidding about the cupboards and the closet door, but we weren't kidding about the rest. Where's my fucking pool?
Oh, that is a good one.
Dana Carvey's got multiple personalities.
Yeah. Hi, big boy. Are you ready? When he's looking in the mirror and he's the woman, and then he's.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hilarious. That is a good movie. That is a good one.
That was a pretty funny one.
I wouldn't mind that one. Mill Creek, go ahead and put that one out. I'll buy it.
Fuck yeah.
You. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who even owns the rights to that one. I think that's a Warner picture, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have the digital version, like I said, which is funky because it's an HD on, I think, Vudu, but on Amazon it's still in standard def, which is like it's the opposite for, or it's vice versa, one of the two, because it's the same thing with Suburban Commando. On one, it's in standard definition, and the other one, it's in HD. Go figure. Suburban Commando is another one that hasn't had a release yet that needs one.
Yeah, I would like one of that on Blu-ray. That would be nice.
Did that even get a DVD? Like way back in the day, I think now, but it was a full frame, I think, on top of it all. It was like a very early DVD, I think. Who's better, Eddie or Richard?
That's a hard thing, dude, because I don't.
Without Richard Pryor, you don't get Eddie Murphy, though. That's the
true.
Thing.
That's true.
Because Eddie even said most of his original act was just copying Richard Pryor.
Yeah. Even that joke he tells about where he was on the phone to Richard Pryor because of Bill Cosby.
Right. People are laughing. What'd you say? Yeah. Do you get paid? Yeah. Until Bill said have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I don't need you cussing on stage.
That's what I'm talking about. All the filth, flour, and filth just say in front of people. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say no filth, flour, and filth in front of people. I'm offended. Fuck you.
This is a great joke. I love that bit. It's true. Without Richard Pryor, you don't have Eddie Murphy. And of course, Eddie Murphy today isn't what he once was, but
getting chastised on the phone by Bill Cosby is like getting yelled at by your dad.
Yeah, because he was America's dad at one point in time.
My son came to me and he said, Dad. I said, yes, son. He said, Pops. I said, yes, son. He said, Dad, can I have ticket money for the tickets to go to see the show? I said, okay, here's the money to go to see the tickets to see the show. So he went to see the show. When he comes home and he had a look on his face, I said, Ennis, what's wrong? And he said, Dad, the man said things. I said, what did he say, son? He said, man, the man said some stuff. He said, what did he say, son? He said, here, suck on my big black dick and suck this. You cannot say filth, flaunt filth in front of people, but you can roofie them in private.
Eddie Murphy Raw is on Blu-ray. Is it on Blu-ray yet? I know.
No, that's another one that's got DVD only. But yeah,
it was announced to come into Blu-ray, and I thought it was coming soon.
They've been slowly putting out the Eddie Murphy movies. Like I got Boomerang and Harlem Nights recently.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's on the docket. I mean, hell, we even got
when they announced
Vampire in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, is that out on Blu-ray?
Yeah, that was one of his first ones to come out after.
I gotta pick that one up. Stuff. Wes Craven, man, that's a good one. But yeah, Critical Condition. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah, I think I'll wait till the price drops on that if I decide to pick it up.
Yeah, I would wait for a sale.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, I don't know if it's still going on now, but a lot of those titles that were exclusive to Shout Factory's website, like The Watchers 2 and Doctor Strange, which I think is only available on DVD now. They had found a couple. They had found some, and they're selling them off. So if you missed any of those that went out, they found a couple of those that still might be able to get. But I think the Doctor Strange is only DVD now. It may be gone completely now, but they hadn't found a couple of those. So just let you a heads up on anybody that wants those. But yeah, that is a good pick. And I guess we'll go to me. If you got anything else to say. All right, we'll go to me.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. Now I have brought this movie on before, but today I got the VHS of it. The new VHS, and I thought I'd bring it on. It's Kill Her Goats. It's a new horror movie.
Is it any good?
I liked it. Some people didn't like it. They thought maybe it took too long to get to the killing. I could see where their complaints are because most of the movie is basically these three women in this house for about an hour. But they get naked and everything, and they watch scary movies. I enjoyed it. Kate Hunter shows up wearing a big giant goat mask and starts killing them one by one near the end. It's got a little twist to it, so I don't want to say too much about that. But I bought the VHS as well. I got the 4K steelbook, which I brought on here, but I bought the clamshell VHS, and I just wanted to show that off. It's really cool. I enjoyed it. Yeah, brand new movie on VHS. So there you go.
Is there somewhere where I can buy it? Actually,
not the VHS.
Obviously, I don't want the VHS. I don't have a VHS.
Actually,
player.
I think the one set is sold out, but I think they're releasing a single disc version or whatever.
Yes, you can buy the
disc on its own or whatever.
Yeah, you can buy the Blu-ray with the DVD copy. The 4K steelbooks are gone, but they're coming out with new 4K steelbooks that are limited, that are numbered. Yeah, so you can get those.
Okay, because if I can get a 4K somehow, I'll get it.
I'll be honest with you. I like this movie. This movie is like a cheesy, bad 80s horror movie. Campy, funny. It doesn't take itself serious. I enjoyed it, but I will say be warned to some people who may not be able to handle this. The bulk of the movie is just these three women in this house. You watch two of them take showers. You watch one of them get naked, going to bed, and watch one of them watch movies until like the story starts to unfold with Kane Hodder showing up in the goat face and all that, and the killing happens. So be warned, it is a slow burn. The director, Steve West, says this is a slow burn movie. And the best example I could give you was what I read a review was it's sort of like Slumber Party Massacre meets a slasher movie. I know that sounds weird because Slumber Party Massacre is a slasher movie, but if you really think about Slumber Party Massacre, it's about basically these women having this slumber party getting naked for most of the movie before the driller killer shows up and starts killing them near the end of the movie. So it's very similar in that vein. But I enjoyed it. The VHS is, I'm really surprised how awesome this VHS is. I didn't think I'd be that excited about it, but I really, really was. But I'm glad to have the VHS in the 4K. It's a great movie. The cast is basically Playmates, the last Playboy women that got naked in Playboy. That's basically the cast of the movie, since there is no more
how's the acting though? Is it good?
as well as you would think.
Okay, because
I mean,
I looked up
they're Playboy playmates.
Yeah, that's kind of why I want to get the movie.
So, I mean, it's fun. It does really and no CGI, all practical effects, and it does remind you of like those movies of the early 80s and 90s where they were just like throwing stuff at the wall trying to make a really good horror movie, and I enjoyed it. So,
no,
but I want you to be warned. This movie may not be for everybody because
here's the thing though. I want to watch it because I want to at least because I do want to make like low budget horror flicks if I can come up with a good one, and I want to like make it with like no CGI at all, of course, like practical effects and everything, just because it's cheap and it's just so much creative. That's why I want to watch movies like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Watch it. I think you'll love it. Steve Walsh, which I've talked to him, actually, the director. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's just like it's you can tell he's just having fun making movies. Like he's just trying to make these really like movies like that he loves.
That's great.
Reminded. Plus, I mean, you can't beat the town is West Craven. The town's name is West Craven.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, he's a fan of Wes Craven, and he's got Kane, which I find funny because it's like Wes Craven and Kane Hodder. Jason is in it. It's just I enjoyed the movie. So if you think you can handle movies like that, go ahead and watch it because I think it's a good movie.
You know, I met a few filmmakers while I was out on Horror Hound last year. During it was the only one I went to, obviously, the second to last one. And they made a movie called Hell Van. I haven't watched it yet, but I bought their DVD.
Nice.
And I didn't get to talk to them very much. I wish I could, and I told them, I'm like, dude, like, because they showed like I was walking around with Angelus, and we just watched the trailer. Like they had like a tablet where they like show everyone the trailer, and I'm like, holy shit, this looks awesome. I'm like, this is the type of shit I want to do.
Yeah.
And I told them, like, you know, like I want to be a filmmaker who makes low budget practical shit like you guys are doing.
Independent horror movie films right now is probably the best form of horror films you're going to get, barring movies like Megan, which is great because that's Blumhouse, and Blumhouse can make some really good horror movies at
times.
At times, I know.
Yeah.
And I don't like A24 that much. Not that I don't like them. It's just they're making some stuff. But like independent horror movies is like if you want this old school feel of like slasher or horror movies that are not like all about ghosts and stuff. Independent horror movies is where it's at.
I gotta be honest with you. I think A24 is slightly better than Blumhouse, in my opinion.
It's more highbrow, definitely.
Yeah, you know, I've heard other people even say this, like, you know, some horror fans today, like, you know, you and I, you know, mention like, you know, I'm glad horror is getting more recognition now, which is great, and it is.
I am too.
Whether they're good or bad, you know, like, you know, X, which, you know, was huge. Pearl was pretty. Like I'm pretty.
I've heard good things about those, which I do want to see those movies.
X was great. I like Pearl, but not as good as X, but still good. Nonetheless, I'm pretty sure those movies made a decent amount of money in the box office.
Yeah, I mean they're making a third one, so
yeah,
they're made super cheap. Honestly, those are made super cheap, and they make a pretty good profit in the theater.
Yeah,
so real quick,
like they're literally, and it's pretty popular because I went to a Halloween party last year, and there was literally someone dressed up as Mia Goth's character.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, like that, like, you know, that alone tells me like, yeah, horror's definitely making its ways again. And you know, even as much as I don't like the new Scream movies,
It's
those are. I mean, at least
they're made for a little bit of money too, and making big return. So
yeah, I know. But you know,
congratulations, you're now the Police Academy of Horror Films.
Wait till they go to Moscow with Scream 7.
Scream to Moscow.
Scream 7 is literally going to be a rip-off beat of Scream 3. Just you wait.
Are you liking scary movies?
But
my favorite scary movie is Wall Street.
But go ahead, check out Killer Goats if you want. Like I said, I want to warn some people out there, because if you're not like into like horror movies and stuff and certain types of like cheesy campy B type movies, you may have a problem with the movie. But I personally did not. I liked the movie. I liked the chances it took. I liked the absurdity of it. I liked the little ending where it's like, okay, I didn't see that ending coming. Whatever. I enjoyed it. So, check it out.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. But there you go. There's that. I know I brought on the 4K ones before, but I just got the VHS today and I did an unboxing, and I needed a fourth pick. So that was the extra fourth pick I brought. But back to you, Runner. What do you got for us?
All right. Right now I don't know if this is one of Tom's picks or not, but this movie was actually unlike The Core, this movie was actually worth the $20, $21, however it is, because it actually had some special features in the disc, which is pretty nice. And thank God Paramount actually has the distribution rights for this one, and not Disney, because it's produced by both Paramount and Disney. And that's Dragon Slayer.
I saw Tom and Bill Hunt had a little thing over that. I saw that.
I saw that.
Yeah.
You mean Dragon Slayer?
Was that one of your picks?
Oh, you got the Steelbook.
I did.
I want to
get the Steelbook?
No, I got the normal slipcover. I wanted to save some money.
Ha, lame Best Buy buy.
Fuck your Best Buy.
I didn't. I should have gotten the Steelbook, but like I don't want to like be like too obsessed over Steelbooks, because I bought all 4 of the Rocky Steelbooks. I shit you not. I shouldn't have.
You've bought all 4 of them?
Yes.
Wow.
Because now you don't get the special features for Part 4. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. I'll get the Knockout collection when that's all fixed. Oh,
excuse me.
Is that the Steelbook?
Of course it is.
Oh, fuck me, man. That looks fucking amazing.
Oh, look at that. See, it's got the little thing on the inside there. The
Son of a bitch, that looks great.
Now it feels like a dunce. It was only like $25 for the Steelbook.
Your face is dunce.
I think mine was only like 21 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was 24, but
it was pretty cheap.
That it has this nice case on top that has the original poster art on it, and then on the back you got that. No, and I actually enjoyed the movie quite a bit. So you enjoyed it too, then, Runner?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I enjoyed it for what it was. I want to watch the commentary between the director and Guillermo del Toro sometime, because they do a commentary.
Yeah, there's a great hour-long making of documentary on here, and screen tests and some other stuff. Yeah.
I heard of that. Yeah, the reason why I say Dragon Slayer is a little more worth it for its price is because it actually has those types of special features, unlike The Core, which has 0.
Not only that, I didn't get into it with Bill Hunt over it, because there are some scenes I'm like, yeah, this is not as bad as some of the other Paramount titles, but there's some scenes that do suffer from some of their over scrubbing. But
yeah, it's definitely one of their better scans. It's one of their better 4K transfers.
I did get into it a little bit over Dragonheart though versus this, because somebody said like Dragonheart was the definitive dragon film. I'm like, oh fuck no, Dragon Slayer dwarfs that thing. I was like, all Dragonheart did was set CGI back like 6 years farther back than it did before Jurassic Park, basically. Yeah, it's a good movie, but the CGI does not hold up. This fucking holds up. My jaw was dropping it because I've never seen this movie before. I've seen some of the shots before, but I never seen the whole movie as a whole. And just the dragon scenes between the go motion and the puppetry and the actual full-sized one and shit like that is amazing what they were able to pull off. I mean, you could kind of see like the roots of Jurassic Park here, so yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, I remember seeing like a screenshot of the dragon in Dragonheart, and I'm like, what the fuck? Did they just use CGI for this movie? And then I see the practical effects shots of the dragon in Dragon Slayer, and I'm like, yep, I'm gonna buy Dragon Slayer.
Cool. I have not picked my copy up yet. This week's been a little bit busier on me, so I haven't had a chance to get some movies lately. But yes, I want to see that movie again. It's been a long time since I've seen it as well. It'd be interesting to see because I want to see, you know, if Paramount is actually improving. So,
I wouldn't go as far as say they're improving because, you know, the core didn't even look. I didn't have a problem with the 4K for the core, like the transfer and all that. I just thought it was too highly priced for having no special features. That was kind of my problem with that.
The core will probably come down in price now. You watch and see. It'd be like $10.
The slipcover kind of did it for me. I don't know. The slipcover was kind of nice. That's why I bought it, to be honest with you. And I've wanted to watch it for a while. That's another reason why.
That is true. It's hard to believe Dragon Slayer was produced by Disney.
Disney and Paramount, just like Popeye.
Yep.
Yeah. At the same time, I'm not too surprised by watching the movie because it does kind of feel like some of those Disney movies that have.
It is one of the goriest Disney movie ever made, though.
Yes.
I cannot believe they killed the princess and had her foot get it. I love those baby fucking dragons. Like the guy who does Gremlins, the original Gremlins, Chris Wallace, did a lot of the puppetry shit in here, and cool. He did a great job, yeah. And I love in the making of it, they talk about the baby dragons. They're like, the first few designs kept coming back. They're like, it's too cute. It's too cute. We got to make these things more scary because people are gonna freak out when we kill them if you don't. So they finally figured out what the problem was. The eyes were too big, because everything baby, that's what makes them cute, is they have these huge fucking eyes compared to the rest of their body.
That's what
so that's what they did, is they gave them squinty little eyes and pig noses.
Yeah.
And that fixed it. They're vicious little shits.
Yeah, that's funny. I just saw the thing about I just saw the director saying that he was so happy to have the 4K, or it's 4K, right? Or is it just Blu-ray?
Yeah, it's 4K.
Yeah, 4K. I thought that he said he was so happy to have the 4K out because it's finally the way he wanted it to be seen, because ever since it had been released, he said the first VHS release of it was just pure crap. They cut it off, they mishandled it, and it's never been seen right since till this release. So I did
have a Blu-ray release prior to this that was pretty decent from what I heard too, but again, as far as Paramount goes, this is definitely one of their better releases, I'll say.
I'm interested because I saw you and Bill Hunt arguing over it, and I kind of hesitated a bit, but then. Well,
it's more so I was like, dude, nobody else is calling out this shit but us, right? Like, what the fuck? Another 48 Hours, Wayne's World, and Friday the 13th alone need to be called out. And he was all obsessed over fucking War of the Worlds. It's like, dude, that's one fucking shot. We've got some bigger problems over here.
Yeah, like just watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's like one of the biggest.
Oh God, don't even get me fucking started on that shit.
Horrible. So scrubbed.
Oh my God. But I had heard something like they do have somebody new over at Paramount, so maybe these things will change, or we'll start to see some changes here. So, and I heard that Paramount is getting more into archiving So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I just told him it's more so that bothers me is like the inconsistencies, right? It feels like there's like 3 different people there that are working on the QC of this. One guy who hates grain and will not allow any grain through, another person who's okay, and another person who's great at it.
Right.
Like, I mean, because there's some of the better scans I can cite. Our Paramount scans. Like, I didn't watch the whole movie yet, but just watching a few minutes of Blue Hawaii, I was like, holy shit. Although it's probably filmed in 65 millimeter and that shows, but it looked amazing. And same thing for It's a Wonderful Life, which isn't even from the negative. What's left of the negative, which is very little, and other fine grain prints and shit like that. I mean, it's one of the best looking black and white discs I've ever seen.
I agree with you on that.
Still,
I watched it and it looked amazing. Yeah, so.
But these same people have done Planes, Trains, and fucking Automobiles, so go figure.
Which was horrible.
And I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty convinced, like I said, that the whole, Death Wish may have come from the negative, but it's like a 10-year-old scan.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it. It does not look much better than the old Blu-ray does.
That's interesting because I heard that it wasn't much better than the Blu-ray. That's what I heard. But I heard if you're going to buy it, just buy the 4K. So
it's worth it. There's special features and at least what little there is, but
yeah,
I mean, it does look better. It's a little bit more even, but
yeah. Would you say Dragon Slayer is better? 4K, would be the
well,
worth it.
Yeah, but that's also almost like a 10-year-old better, newer movie.
Yeah,
too.
That's true. The
scenes that suffer the worst, of course, are all the optical effects. Like some of the dragon flying scenes, you can tell they overly DNR'd. So I don't even know what the fuck Bill's talking about. It is so harsh in some of the scenes, like it feels like they're smudging. Like you can see smudging around the dragon and stuff. It looks really kind of bad in some shots. And I know it couldn't have looked like that originally, but then other shots just look just amazing. So like again, it's a hit and miss, but this one's not nearly as bad as some of the other ones, like Friday the 13th and Planes, Trains, and Wayne's World and stuff. Which Wayne's World 2 is another uneven one. Some of that movie looks amazing, and there's certain other scenes that are just like, why does this look like it's had DNR smeared all over it?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the problem with Friday the 13th 4K just the intro didn't have the?
No, it's first of all, it doesn't have the flash. And I think that's also supposed to happen at the end too, and it doesn't. And also it's a bit too dark. People are right about that. It is pitched a bit too dark. That can be easily you just turn your TV up or go to Vivid or whatever. But the other problem is that movie scrubbed shit.
Oh, really?
If you watch it, like it's not as bad as some of the other ones, but there's hardly any fucking grain there. Where you compare it to the Shout version, which is also from the same 4K scan, but it doesn't have all of the Paramount crap added to it. That almost looks better. The only thing that's better on the Friday the 13th 4K is the color.
Yeah.
No, because I thought the Paramount 4K release was like almost the same thing as the Shout Factory.
It isn't. It's the same scan. They use the same elements, but Shout Factory remembered the flashes, and their version's a bit brighter. Like it's a bit washed out compared, but that's just because you don't have the Dolby Vision and that kind of stuff to bring out the true color. But as far as the grain structure and all that kind of shit, I'll have to say that the fucking Shout Factory is a better representation of the 4K scan than the 4K is from Paramount. Whatever they did to it, it sucks.
Yeah, it's Paramount for you. But like you said, maybe...
I've seen worse, but...
I could... Correct me if I'm wrong. I did hear decent things about... that new release from Paramount Presents. It was a Wes Craven movie about an airplane. Red Eye, yeah.
Red Eye.
I never liked that movie to begin with, unfortunately, but...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Isn't Elizabeth Banks in that fucker on top of it all?
No, Rachel McAdams.
It's Rachel McAdams.
What's her face? Rachel McAdams, that's right, yeah. I just didn't like that film.
Cillian Murphy.
And it was one of Wes Craven's last films, and it was just like... The ending is so stupid. That's
that's where I got lost.
Because she makes every fucking mistake. I'm like watching this movie. I'm like, dude, you just made 3 movies talking about how you're not supposed to do half this shit. Like every mistake she makes is in a Scream movie not to do. Plus, she's doing it in heels. And that's the thing is, I don't remember much of the movie, but I remember how pissed off I was at that ending. Because I'm like, I don't know, maybe I got to rewatch it, but like I tried watching it twice, so like maybe I missed something here because everybody loved it, right? Like I was like, what am I missing here? Because I love Wes Craven.
Me too.
I like Cillian Murphy and shit like that, or Killian Murphy, however you say it. I'm like, what am I missing here? What is it about this movie? And then I watched it again. It was the same thing again though on the second round. It's like, that's it. I'm watching every rule being broke that Wes Craven just laid out for us in 3 fucking movies.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've
actually
seen
it may have even been 4 because
like,
didn't he shoot that around the same time as Scream 4, or was it before?
It was before. It was before Scream 4, I believe.
Was it before? I thought it was a little after, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Let's find out. See,
Red Eye. Because I thought Red Eye was like his last studio film. I thought, but I could be wrong.
Let's see here.
Maybe he did do Scream. Scream 4 was 2007, right, or 2004? Now I can't remember which.
Looks like Red Eye came out in 2005.
Okay, 2005. Okay. Scream 4 is what?
Scream 4 was
Scream
2011.
Scream 4 was 2011, I think.
Wow,
right?
Later than I thought, yeah. Okay, so then Scream 4 would have been his last one then.
Yeah, I think.
I think I got those two flipped around time-wise.
What about... When did he direct Cursed? The Jesse Eisenberg
Oh, that was in the between those somewhere. And
I think that's like 2000.
And that movie got taken away from him anyway.
2005, it says. And 2004.
That was a Weinstein
movie. It was
movie.
filmed for like 3 years straight. They filmed it, so.
That was a movie, if I remember right, the Weinsteins took it away from him and recut it, if I remember right.
And it, like the cast, it originally Skeet Ulrich was in it, and it was all Christina Ricci is still in it. Yeah, originally it was like Skeet Ulrich was playing the Joshua Jackson sort of part. Christina Ricci and Jesse Eisenberg were not brother and sister; they were strangers, and then it's all kinds of stuff to it. But yeah.
I just realized I actually forgot a disc, but I can probably save it for next week since I think we're both down to 1, right?
I got 2 more.
You got 2 more? How many?
Was Dragon Slayer one of yours?
I got 2 more.
Well, I didn't know that Runner had Dragon Slayer. Yeah, Dragon Slayer is one of mine. I can go grab another one if need be, though, because I forgot one. But
well, I mean, if you want to.
Well, we'll see where we get here because I got the one left here. And whose turn is it now? Since me and Runner both went, I guess it's yours, Greg.
Yeah, I'll go. Speaking of Paramount, I have a Paramount title here that I had not seen in quite some time. I know Runner has never seen this. I don't know how you feel about this, Tom, but I enjoy this movie. And that would be Kiss the Girls with Morgan Freeman. Okay, good. Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd. And what's his name? Carrie Ells.
Is that the original or is that the sequel? I can never remember which one's which.
The sequel is Along Came the Spider.
Okay, that's what I always get flip-flopped. I can never remember which.
This is the better movie. And
I was going to say, I think that's the better one.
Yeah. Along Came the Spider is not that great. But Kiss the Girls, great little movie. I love it. It's the first Alex Cross movie from James Patterson with Morgan Freeman. And his niece has been kidnapped along with these other women who have been basically taken over by this guy kidnapped by this guy named Casanova, who believes that he truly loves these women. He basically collects these like very exotic women that have special talents, and he kidnaps Ashley Judd's character, who's a doctor, and she gets free. She's the only one to escape him. And so Morgan Freeman and her and the police officers in North Carolina, they team up to try to figure out where these girls are, where Morgan Freeman's niece is, who this guy is, and it's a pretty well done mystery. I tell you what, you probably will not guess who Casanova is in this movie. It is that good until they finally reveal it, and I'm not spoiling it. I don't care if this movie's been out for that long. If you've never seen it, you will love this movie if you like good, solid mysteries like this. And it's very much in the vein of like Silence of the Lamb. Maybe a little bit with 7 because this came out after 7. You know, they try to capitalize off of that a little bit. But it's really good, really well done. Great acting, great cast. Like I said, it's got Morgan Freeman, Ashley Judd, Carrie Ells.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. What's his name? The one guy's in it too. He actually played the original Hannibal Lecter, and I can't remember his name.
Anthony Hopkins?
No, he played the original Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter. My God, what is his name? Brian Cox, I believe his name is. Yeah, it's got a great cast.
Yep.
It's a great story. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a nice, really good, just great thriller movie.
I have not seen that movie since it was on VHS, man.
Me too. I had not seen it in so long, and I was like, I want to watch Kiss the Girls, and I pulled the Blu-ray off, and I was like, damn, this movie is as good as I remember. It's just, I enjoyed it. So, but yeah, there you go. Runner, I think you would probably like it. It's been a while, Tom. Give it another rewatch. It was pretty damn good.
I don't even know if I have that one.
If not, I think it's still pretty cheap. It's only like $12 or something.
I mean, it was never one that I was like a huge fan of, and then the sequel really just didn't do nothing for me.
Yeah, the sequel sucked, but this one I enjoyed. I've always enjoyed this one. I don't know what it is. I think it's the performances that gets me every time, and the reveal of the killer. It's just like it's like, whoa, I didn't expect it to be quite that person. But then when you watch it again, and you kind of see it.
Yeah, and Steven points out that Kiss the Girls comes before along came a spider, but the books are in reverse order. That's probably what screws me up too.
Yeah, the novelization. Then of course, Tyler Perry replaces Morgan Freeman later on in another.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that was? Oh, that's right. Now I totally spaced that out.
Yeah.
Shit, I totally spaced that out.
Yeah. I've not seen it, but I've actually
give a shit.
Yeah, Tyler Perry Matthew Fox 1 was well below par for these. Yeah, I've not seen it, but I only enjoyed the first one. I didn't care for Long Came Spider, but I'm just good with Kiss the Girls. So check it out if you've not seen it. That is a Paramount title. It probably could use a new scan, a new 4K or whatever, but who knows with Paramount. So
I mean, that might be one that's not like huge on the list or way up on the list, but I'm sure it's on the list.
I remember making a pretty decent amount of money. It wasn't like I said, it wasn't huge, but
I'll tell you what though,
decent.
I'm waiting for fucking Face Off. Speaking of Paramount, because I tried watching that the other night for Toxic Tuesday, and I couldn't even watch my Blu-ray. It looks that bad.
Oh,
I'm like, oh my god.
Well, Kino's putting that out.
Blu-ray's not good. I made my mom watch Face Off one night, and after that, I was just like, I can't wait for the 4K because I gotta get rid of that fucking Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's really smudgy looking.
Yeah, no, but I got that Face Off Blu-ray for like dirt fucking cheap.
Me too, but like, yeah, if I didn't, I'd be bitching because it looks like shit.
Yeah, I paid like $5 for mine.
It looks so bad. Like I said, I just quit watching it.
I paid $5 for mine too.
So it'd be great to finally get a good 4K. That we'll see how that looks with Kino doing it. I wonder if Paramount's doing the scan.
Oh, I'm sure they are. They've been doing it.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I just hope it's good.
Yeah, but anyhow.
Yeah. If nobody's ever seen Kiss the Girls, check it out. Along Came the Spider. If you want to watch it, is all right. I didn't care for it, but after that, you don't need to go further.
I kissed a girl and I love
Speaking of Face Off, did you know that John Woo made a new movie with Joel Kinnaman and it has no dialogue whatsoever?
No, I've never heard this.
He it was a movie he showed recently in one of the film festivals. I forgot which one, but John Woo made a new movie recently with Joel Kinnaman. I saw this on Twitter. It says like he made this movie and it has no dialogue. I'm like, what? I honestly didn't even know he was making shit.
Does it have doves?
Does it have doves fly?
That's the first thing that came in mind. I'm like, well, it probably has doves there somewhere.
This is what it's like when that's that Prince song. It's stuck in my head.
You know what's funny? I remember watching Face Off with my mom, and she didn't love it as much as me, obviously, but I told her about the doves, and I'm telling her like that's John Woo's directing style. He has doves in every movie. And she's like, oh my god, like what? He's like, yes, he's got doves in every fucking movie.
It's his signature, man. It's just what's
He
hard
almost didn't
target.
get him in that one, but yeah. Anyway, we went way off base. Whose
Yeah,
turn is it?
I believe it would be
know,
Renner's turn again.
I think it's me.
Running
This
his
movie,
mouth.
Running his mouth.
this movie is almost 4 hours long, and if anyone is saying
Jesus.
it's not the Snyder cut, don't worry.
Is it Babylon?
No, it's not that. I'm not buying
I
that
tried
movie.
watching Babylon. I quit watching after like the first 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm good.
Oh,
Although I give him credit, it does look like Babylon was actually shot on film. But anyway.
it was shot on film, I could tell. And I saw the behind the scenes for it, but yeah, with the elephant scene, yeah, I could totally see why you'd quit after 5 minutes.
The elephant scene was fine. It was after that it got boring real quick.
It just got weird when the chick fucking pissed on that guy.
I didn't get to that part.
Oh, okay.
I got to the elephant scene and then the first part of the party, and then I'm just like, okay, this is not what I was. I mean, I kind of knew what I was getting into, but like, I'm not going to sit here for 3 hours.
You know what, Dan Blackwood? Debbie remembers it being that long.
I'll get that line today. I'm like,
damn it, Beavis.
No, but that movie's like a $10 buy, honestly. If it ever has a Black Friday thing, then because it's like $30 or something. It's like I'm not paying that much for that movie.
Well, it's on free one of the services right now. I can't remember which.
Oh, Paramount Plus
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I started watching, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't watch that.
Plus, that movie needed a re-edit. They could have cut like at least an hour off, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what do you got?
Yeah, what's this 4 hour movie you got?
Taking you 4 hours to tell about it.
Yeah, I know. I got a good movie though. Actually, this is a really good movie, and it's actually worth. I think it's like 3 hours and 50 minutes. It's damn good. I know Tom likes this movie, so he'll be happy. I finally got to watching it. I bought this a while ago. The 10 Commandments.
Oh, I love the 10 Commandments. I got it. I don't have the 4K, but I have it. I've been meaning to get that 4K.
It's a good looking one.
Yeah,
I've
heard it's good. Seems to be the mill.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's a Paramount.
These 10 Commandments. Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's always a good one to watch.
It's a pretty long movie, but it's not bad for an almost 4 hour long movie.
No, that's surprisingly. Once you get into watching that movie, it really holds your interest, and it really doesn't feel like it's 3 hours long. It kind of just keeps you on the edge of your seat. To be honest with you, it is a really great. It's actually a really, really great movie. I thoroughly enjoy that movie, and I love watching it at least once a year.
There are some hot fucking chicks in that movie. Holy shit!
Lily Munster's in it.
Yeah, I knew one of them looked familiar.
The woman he marries, the woman he gets with, that's Lily Munster.
Moses, yeah.
Yeah, Moses, his wife that he once they kick him out and everything, and he meets that woman. I can't remember, as you know what I'm talking about. That woman there.
Yeah, I don't remember the names very well. I only know Moses and Ramiz or whatever his name is. The bad guy.
Ramses.
However the hell.
Ramses the second.
Thank you. Yeah, Ramses. What happened in movies like this?
Yo, brother. What? Modern Hollywood. It's got to be content. It's got to be content, message driven, and all that good stuff. So,
I mean, the movie's rated G, first of all, and we don't get rated G movies anymore.
Well, the rated G back in the day is not the same type of rated G you're getting today. So, there's some PG movies where you can get to have boobs. So,
yeah.
Yes, Yvonne DiCarlo. She was Moses' wife in the movie. Yeah.
Brian Barth says 10 Commandments 11 out of 10. That's
so what he gives it 11 out of 10. It's a good classic story. Great performances. You have oh my gosh, why can't I think of names all of a sudden? Like my mind is just giving out on me all of a sudden.
The names are kind of all over the place, but
I'm thinking about the actor. Because we know we have Yul Brynner, we have what the hell is his name?
Heston.
Charlton Heston. I keep thinking, get your damn dirty hands off me,
E.G.
you damn dirty ape.
Marshall.
Yes, Yvonne DiCarlo. You have all those great.
Carlo. Yeah, there's quite a few good ones.
Yeah, John Carradine was in it. Yep. It's a good movie. It's the classic story, and matter of fact, they'll be showing it in the next month or so. When's Easter? Because they usually show it around Easter.
Yeah, it's coming up here in a week or two.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like that's like every clockwork. It's one of the movies like when you're at home and it's around Easter time and they play it and you kind of just like you leave it on there like I'll just leave it here instead of next thing you know you're sitting there staying up like to 11, 12 o'clock at night watching 10 Commandments because you're so invested in it. It's such a good movie. Yeah. What is Charlton Heston's performance? 10 Commandments, better performance. 10 Commandments have been her.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes is damn good.
Thinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape.
Good. I don't know. That's a tough one to choose between those two movies.
It's
so I don't
people.
Know.
I still need to watch. I still need to watch.
People.
I still need to watch. I still need to watch Ben-Hur, but I'm pretty sure that's coming out on 4K soon.
Use the first they them. It's all about his pronouns, baby.
Those
pronouns crazy. Before pronouns were cool, quote unquote.
Yep. That's Ben. He's one bad bitch.
Ben-Hur. The remake, I don't know if I can recommend that.
A remake,
but yeah, Ben-Hur.
They did a remake for Ben-Hur?
Yeah, they remade Ben-Hur.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That 10 Commandments is technically a remake.
Yeah, because Cecil B. Mills' original 10 Commandments.
Yeah, I heard.
Which, if you would have got the Steelbook, has that version in it.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Oh wow.
And technically, it's remade again as the Prince of Egypt.
Mm-hmm. And then they did the weird, goofy one with what's his name, Batman, Christian Bale.
Shit. It sounds familiar. I don't remember.
It's the 10 Commandments. I can't. I don't even. I maybe called the 10 Commandments. I don't know. But it's basically. I didn't care for that. It was more like Moses fell down and hit his head and imagined everything. That's essentially their take on that one. It's got Christian Bale, Joel Edgerton. I don't know.
Joel Edgerton. I don't remember.
Yeah, he plays Ramsey. I think Ramses. I believe. Exodus. Yes, it's called Exodus.
Let me look that
up. Oh, really?
Look, it sounds very
10
familiar.
Commandments will be airing on Saturday. This Saturday, Brian Barth, ABC. I knew it was coming up. I thought they played it closer to Easter, though.
It's usually over Passover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it makes sense to put it right around Easter, I think.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Any final words?
It's called Exodus, Gods and Kings. That's what the movie
by Ridley
called.
Scott. That explains it. Ridley Scott directed it.
Oh, of course.
That explains why it was just all over the place and needed another rework. Third cut of the film.
I might have. Of course, Ridley Scott directed it. Jesus Christ. In IMDb, it says it's 2 hours and 30 minutes. Is his extended cut like more than 3 hours?
Probably.
Probably.
He probably has another one, the final cut, which is 4 hours.
It's a Ridley Scott film. All right, Tom, is it to you?
I think so.
All right, what do you got for us?
I finally got around to watching the Martin Scorsese classic Taxi Driver in 4K as it's.
You talking to me?
You talking to me?
Oh, love that movie.
In this collection. And even for a little bit older scan, it looks pretty good. In fact, it's the same, of course, scan that we got for this older set as well here that I still have. But yeah, no, it holds up, still pretty good. Looks really great. Sounds good. What can I say? It's a Scorsese classic. I mean, it's a good film. Now, the 4K, oddly enough, has some special features on it, but not all of them. And for some reason on the 4K, they've decided to crop off the making of. So it fits a 16 by 9 TV. Yeah. So, like, you're better off just watching it on the Blu-ray. It looks better, even though it's pillar boxed or whatever. With some of the shots from the movie are letterboxed, but, like, it doesn't cut off everybody's fucking head.
The top of their heads.
Yeah.
Where does Mohawk go?
Considering most of it's talking. No, like, when the people are talking, like, you don't notice it during the movie shots because during the movie shots, just cropping off the black bits.
Yeah.
But when people are talking, like they're missing a large portion of their head sometimes, or it's really tight on their face and it just feels croppy.
It feels croppy. I love that. That's a new term.
Like, that's the best way I can explain it. It just feels all boxed in, and it's like, yeah, you should have just left it in pillar box. But
Greg,
yeah, no, it's a great film. Yeah.
No, but I would love to. I'd love to get a standard like release of it by itself.
Didn't this one get released on 4K on its own?
No,
I thought it got like a steelbook or something like that.
I thought it did.
I don't think it did.
Let me see. I thought I remember it being released on 4K separately.
Goodfellas was released on 4K, but by Warner Brothers. And it had a steelbook. I don't remember Taxi Driver ever having one.
Oh, it doesn't look like maybe it did. No, I don't think it did because on Amazon it says just mastered in 4K, single disc Blu-ray. And I'm not seeing any other listing on any other place.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If it had a standalone release, I'd probably have it. That's the thing. At this point.
The Blu-ray does look fairly good, like, considering. I mean, it's an older film. It's not shot on the greatest stock film. And I bounced, like, and watched a few minutes of the 4K just to compare it. Because I watched both of the discs, because the disc that's in my 4K has a different label on it, but it's the same disc almost. The only difference is you can tell it was just processed newer because it doesn't have, like, all the internet connective stuff like the movie IQ and all that crap on it.
Mm-hmm.
The older one does, but otherwise they're identical.
Nice.
So I'm just saying, like, I mean, if you get a chance to, even if you get it on just standard Blu-ray, it's kind of worth it. It's a pretty good scan for just standard Blu-ray.
Yeah, it is the 4K scan. Sadly, you know.
Well, that's just it. They did this scan like 10 years ago. This is an older scan.
Mm-hmm.
Because this was done for one of the anniversary releases. And all the Blu-rays, as far as I know, come from the same scan, so.
Cool. Oh, excuse me. Do you think Martin Scorsese really started achieving success in the 1990s with Goodfellas?
I don't know. He was always pretty good. I mean,
yeah, he was good.
It's more like the movies that his lesser films are only a few and far between. So
this is very true. I mean, he's always
he hit his stride, I guess you could say, with Casino and Goodfellas and stuff like that, I guess. But I mean, he just keeps hitting them out the park as far as I'm concerned. I mean, a lot of people were kind of harsh on The Irishman, but I still thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't think The Irishman was too bad. A little long in the tooth, but it wasn't too bad. And they could have did a little better on the de-aging of, you know, of Robert De
Yeah,
Niro and
but
Al
whatever.
Pacino.
It was what it was.
Yeah, I mean, but once you get into it, you don't really notice too much. But yeah, Taxi Driver is an all-time classic. It's what inspired the Joker, along with King of Comedy. So
Yeah,
that's very true.
very, very much.
You know, it's funny. I watched Taxi Driver because I think this might have been during like the beginning of COVID, and my friend just started recommending shit to me, and he told me, watch Taxi Driver. It's funny enough. It was on Netflix. It just happened to be that way. And he was like, watch Taxi Driver. You're not going to look at Joker the same you do when you saw it in the theater. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I told my friend, I'm like, holy shit, you're right.
yeah, I mean, it is better than the Joker. The Joker is essentially copying it, but it is better than the Joker. The
Joker is a good movie by itself, but you can totally tell it takes a lot of inspiration from Taxi Driver.
You need to watch the movie. Watch the movie Fade to Black, which I have brought on here before, which was in like the earlier days shows. Watch the movie Fade to Black. It's the horror movie version of Taxi Driver.
Okay, Fade to Black.
Yeah. It's an 80s horror movie. It's essentially Taxi Driver. I mean, if you like the Joker, Taxi Driver stuff, it's in that vein of movies.
Yeah. And you know, Michael Mann even did a ripoff of Taxi Driver that was a Collateral, kind of. Like he definitely took inspiration.
You really comparing Collateral to Taxi Driver,
dude. Literally, some of the movie takes place. Some of the movie takes place like literally. It's about a guy driving a fucking taxi.
And that's all they really have in common.
That's just taxis. That's it.
No, just the driving around part and all that. I was like, holy shit! Is this just gonna be a ripoff of Taxi Driver?
Yeah, because no other movie has driving in it.
Driving Miss Daisy, man. That's a ripoff of Taxi Driver.
I'm not saying because it has driving, it's a ripoff of another movie with driving. No, it's just it's got a fucking taxi, and one of your main characters is fucking driving around in a fucking taxi, and you can totally tell it almost looked like a ripoff of that, and then later on it's not, but you can totally tell there's a little familiarity to it.
Yeah, I'm not getting the comparison.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I've never seen Collateral all the way through.
I said from the start it feels like it is, but the rest of it, no. So don't look at it the wrong way, guys.
Okay.
And I never said that Jodie Foster and Tom Cruise's characters were the same, Dan Black. Never fucking said that.
I forget how. I always forget how
they're not.
I always forget how young Jodie Foster was in Taxi Driver.
I always forget. I always forget it's her.
Yeah.
He goes to that, I guess. Whatever.
The Jimmy Fallon and the Queen Latifah movie Taxi.
That clearly has a comparison to be made to a Collateral as well, because they're driving around in a taxi cab.
That's very similar, actually.
I'm saying it has the vibe in the very beginning.
We're just messing with you, brother.
No, this movie was actually at the time compared more with Death Wish than anything.
It sort of got that vibe too. Yeah, it sort of got that vibe.
They are basically the same movie. The only difference is this movie's flat out about a racist incel. I mean, it's not as apparent in the film, but if you get to the original script, it's very apparent. Because like the pimp that what's his face plays, I just forgot his name, Harvey Keitel. He's black in the original script. Pretty much everybody that Travis kills in the original script is black. And like the whole thing is boiling down to how racist he really is and all this shit. Like that's where all the skinhead stuff comes in and all that stuff. But Scorsese backed off on it a little bit, and also Harvey Keitel decided he wanted to play that part. So just to make him happy, Scorsese let him. But like, yeah, I mean, this movie was it is a one of those movies that actually, in a weird way, Death Wish compared to this, the only big difference is Death Wish allows you to have fun. This movie does not. This movie is not going to allow you to have any fun with this. Like, you are kind of rooting for Travis at the end, but you're still not like, yeah, this dude's a fucking hero, like the movie plays him out to be. Right. It's kind of weird. It's like, because after going through cinema speculation, Tarantino's book, and how he looks at this film and how he compares certain things and how he talks about how the 80s were, like, it's almost weird, like Scorsese was commenting on 80s films before 80s films with this film, with the ending. Because, like, that's the reason, and I understood now why, because I didn't like it when Tarantino said that. He's like, the 80s was one of the worst decades since the 50s for movies, but he's like, now is worse. But what he meant is back then in the 70s, the directors and writers weren't afraid to take risks. And they weren't necessarily hung up on you have to have a happy ending. He's like, by the time we got to the 80s, a lot of movies had inexplicable happy endings. And he noticed that it drove him nuts that people just didn't give a shit. Not so much that he's like, he wanted, like, dour films. It was like, how can you not give a shit that movie makes no sense at the end of the movie? And I pointed this out the other night on Toxic Tuesday when we were talking about 48 Hours. I said 48 Hours is like one of the last 70s films ever made. And I understand now what Quentin Tarantino means, because even though that movie was made in 82, the script was written in the 70s. And if it would have been made 2-3 years later, you know how that movie would have ended? They would have found a way to get Eddie Murphy out of prison. It would have made sense. It wouldn't have had to make sense. But the audience would have wanted that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they would have wanted an inexplicable happy ending. And that's like every movie in the 80s. He's 100% right. To where, like, and he doesn't make this observation. I'm making this observation. In that Taxi Driver kind of predicted where movies were going in the 80s. Like, even though this guy is not somebody you're supposed to be rooting for, and he's not a hero, he's a horrible human being. But yet at the end of the movie, he's the fucking hero. Because he saved the day, he saved the underage prostitute, right? From this horrible situation. It doesn't matter how he got to that point, at that point now, because he's a hero in the papers, and it's really hit home with the letter from her mom and dad and all this shit. Like, I really picked up on it on this viewing after, going through his book. And then on this viewing, I was really watching it through a lot of the stuff that he had said. And then that ending kind of stuck out to me. I'm like, wait a minute here. This is an inexplicable happy ending, but it's not, right? Like, it works in the context of the film, but it is for Travis, for all intents and purposes, should be basically in prison. But because he just happened to save a 12-year-old prostitute, which rightfully so, he's being lauded as a hero for that. But that's not even was his main intent, really. He was just on this killing spree at that point. Like, and that's kind of where it gets to be like, unlike Death Wish, where Death Wish is all throughout the film and it's a revenge plot from the start. Taxi Driver's not the same direct line, right? It's this slow decay of this unreliable narrator. And to me, it does capture so much better what Joker was trying to do, even though Joker's definitely trying to rip it off.
Yeah.
It's still the same message. Like, a lot of what the message is, because that's what at the end of the movie, Joker's a hero, even though he's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he's treated like a hero when he's really this horrible human being.
Very, very much. Yes, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Jodie Foster's fine in the movie. I mean, it's kind of creepy what she did.
I think she was mature enough at the time to handle it.
She had that attitude and the way she carried herself.
She made the choice herself to be in the film. I think she kind of knew what she was in for, being a young woman in Hollywood. I'm sure she had seen and experienced a hell of a lot more than most women her age.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom wasn't too happy about her taking the part, but she didn't stop her.
I think she turned out fine, I guess you could say.
If I remember right, didn't this get her first Oscar nod?
I believe so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
but it is a good movie, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a standalone 4K where it's outside of the set.
Yeah, I could have swore it did, but I guess not, because this is in the second set.
I mean, like, I know that, well, was it Doctor Strangelove, which was in the first set, same with Lawrence of Arabia, got their standalone releases, one of them having a limited edition steelbook thing, which I did get. But, you know, they need to release fucking, what is it? That one, Taxi Driver, Stripes on 4K, that would be great.
I mean, I know these box sets are really kind of out of a lot of people's price ranges, but the selection of films, I do got to say, is pretty good, despite the third one being a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
I mean, they are kind of worth it, though, overall, if you think about it. Especially if you can get them on sale for like $80.
Right.
Yeah, I wish I could get the last two sets, but they're like priced highly now.
Because, I mean, even at the 120 range that they originally start at, that's still not too bad. Because you're getting 6 films, 4K films, plus a bonus disc usually. I mean, for the price, I mean, if you stop and think about it, that's not too shabby. Especially if you can get it on sale, like I said, for $80-$90, then it's even more worth it. Because then you're only paying like, what, $15, not even a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's priced around that range, then yeah, that's not bad.
But I understand people's hesitation with the third set because there's not nearly as much in there as some other people would think. And I was a bit disappointed with it too. I'm like, why did you pick this shit when there's plenty of other shit? Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe you're saving it for later box sets, but if you don't sell these box sets, nobody's gonna buy any of the later ones. Like,
it's true.
Yeah, that's what was weird about the Sony Classics set that they did. I'm like, really?
Well,
like,
not only that, the stuff that was left out of there too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could have added, like, you could have put in the fucking American movie 4K, which I did watch recently, and I fucking loved it. Because Tom, you know, found out that it got a 4K scan. It's like, why didn't you put that in the box set? That would have made a lot more sense. You know, and you could have even, since you put in fucking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which is one of their more popular titles in that brand, you could have like given us like a 4K version of the Raid, and like you could have put in Whiplash in there too. Like,
that's right. They
Whiplash
did
is
the
one of their
Raid
more
too.
popular.
I forgot about the Raid and the Whiplash. Yeah, Whiplash already had a 4K release, but so what did you think of American Movie then? So what did you think of that? Since you got a chance to check it out,
I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was a fantastic movie. Like you said, Tom, it's like by the end of the movie, it's just a feel good film. And yeah,
it's so fucking funny though.
Oh my god, it is.
It's like so Beavis funny. And Butthead are making a movie, basically. Is what it's like.
Dude, Mike was fucking awesome. This is the best fucking part, honestly. It's hilarious.
Good night, Brian Bars. Have a good one.
Like his LSD story is hilarious, yeah. I almost died once.
God, yeah.
I drank a whole bottle of vodka and I did some LSD and I hit my head on the table and I woke up in the hospital. And I remember I was searching around in my pants for the LSD because I wanted to drop it. And I was freaking out. And then my mom come in the room and she was holding the LSD and I was pissed because I wanted to do it. Like, now I'm not going to be able to drop anymore. It's like, motherfucker, you just died. Like,
what? Hey, he was having a good time, man.
And I just love Michael. Like, his ambition is just like he starts all these things and he never actually finishes anything until he finally finishes Coven. But
yeah, I really like.
So I still don't think he's ever finished Northwest Film or whatever the hell it's called. But yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Northwestern, I think is what it's called, yeah.
Northwestern, yeah. But then they named the production company Northwestern or something when they released Coven.
Nice.
Yeah, he did that because initially Greg, that was what he was. He was basically pulling a Canon Films. I don't know if you guys figured that out.
Yeah, I know.
Have you seen it before, Greg, or not? Did you get a
No,
chance to
I'm
watch
still
it?
waiting to see it.
No, but that's
like
what
I
he's
said, I
basically
didn't get to
doing, because
watch
he
the whole
goes
lot.
around and he's selling everybody that he's doing Northwestern. And then, like I said, you got everybody who's there. They're going, I thought we were here for Northwestern, but for some reason we're finishing Coven. Because he got it in his head that he would take the $3,000 or whatever it was that he got for Northwestern, put that into Coven, finish Coven, sell Coven on video, and then he would have $40,000 to put into Northwestern. That was his whole math. Like, it was like the underwear gnomes. You know, it's like, make the short film profit and then make the major film. It's like, you better hope you got people buying that in between there. But like, of course, you got lucky because of American film, I'm sure helped out. And there's, I'm not going to spoil the ending because it does have a bittersweet ending of sorts. But like, yeah, it's just weird because it doesn't even feel like reality, but it is. It's a real documentary, right? Like, but you get what I'm saying, Renner?
Yeah,
after a while you get into it, it's like it.
Yeah, I was
Go
just.
ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, when you get into it more, you really don't. I didn't view it as much of a documentary anymore. It just felt like a movie of itself, honestly, just like a
it's a movie about these guys trying to make a movie. Basically, it's like
yeah, I know, because like the only parts where you feel like it's a documentary is when like you have people being interviewed. That's about it. But like when you get to a lot of the comedy bits, it's like it doesn't feel like a documentary. That it just feels like a normal movie. Which
Nice.
it's actually supposed to be Coven, but like the joke, Tim, is that Mark keeps saying, no, it sounds like oven if you say it like that. I want to call it Coven. And the other guys, yeah, but that's not how it's pronounced.
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the type of film I would show to if I like taught a film class or something. This would be one of the movies I'd show.
I'm surprised it's not, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Well, no, they made us watch one documentary. I forgot which one it was. It wasn't. It's not as good as American Movie, that's for sure. Because American Movie is like, I don't know, it's just fucking great.
Well, the thing with American Movie is it makes you want to make a movie, but it just doesn't makes you want to make a movie that's better than what he's doing. It's like you're watching it, he's like, don't do that. Like all those things that he's doing, don't do it.
I love
that. So much easier today than back then when they were doing it.
I love the bit where he's trying to film the scene where he like smashes the guy's head on the the fucking kitchen cabinet, and
practically give him a concussion.
They couldn't break. Yeah, I know. I was just like, I'm watching the movie. I'm like, dude, like you could fucking you can fuck up his head, and then they use a saw. They use a fucking saw.
Well, they scored it, but they didn't score it well enough, and they scored it only at the bottom. So he's like ramming the dude's fucking head into this cupboard. It's a full-on cupboard. It's not like a fake balsa wood or anything like that. They just scored it was all. And then like they tried it like 3-4 times, and Mark finally goes up to it and he tries to punch it. And he's like, oh shit, dude. I'm so sorry I tried putting your head through this. Holy crap. So then they pull it off again and they score the shit out of it. And then finally on like the third, then it still takes them like 3-4 tries to get it to break.
Yeah.
Oh man, I really need to get into this movie.
Yeah, and then they broke it.
But when you see the stuff edited together, you can kind of see he knows what he's doing to a point, right? Like, and I mean, and Coven is online. You can go watch it on YouTube. The whole movie is, but
I need to watch it. Yeah.
I mean, it's not that great or anything. It's just you can see that he does have some sort of idea of what he's doing, but he's just got this lackadaisy Wisconsin mentality about him. And I know those guys, right? Like, I know those guys. I've grown up around those guys. Not personally, but I mean, guys just like that, right? Like, I was Mark growing up, really, in a lot of ways. I mean, I wasn't like a beer swiller or anything like that, but I mean, like, he's a bit of an alcoholic, clearly. But he's not actually, it's funny as you watch the movie and people are like, oh, God, he's really alcoholic. Not really by Wisconsin standards. He really only gets drunk like during the Packer games and shit. Like if you watch the movie, he's not nearly as much as some people do around. But really, what else are you gonna do around Wisconsin, especially in the wintertime? You get snowed in. There's nothing to do but watch TV and get drunk or high and make babies. Like that's all we do. Like because there's nothing else to do besides Sunday when the Packers are on.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it does kind of capture that kind of time, like that for me personally. Like there's a bit of a nostalgia trip in there because that movie came out right around the time I graduated. So like I'm not even that much younger than Mark is really. And I just it does kind of capture a little like a piece of my history and time. Well, because especially because considering it was filmed in Wisconsin on top of it all.
Yeah.
That's a good time for the film to come out, honestly, when you graduate high school.
Oh yeah, I saw it at the perfect time. Like it was one of those movies that I don't even remember how I think I saw it on Cinemax actually. Like it premiered on Cinemax. So it would been fairly new. And I don't even know what turned me onto it. I think I saw a trailer or something for it. I'm just, I'm going to check that out. Or actually, no, I remember now. I said that. Roger Ebert's review. That's what turned me onto it. The Siskel and Ebert review of it. It might have been Ebert and Roper at that time, but yeah. But either way, like their review of it was like, oh yeah, I should check that out. And then I remember seeing it on Cinemax or one of the channels, and it might even been Showtime or something like that. Because at that time, I think I was living with my cousins and going to college, and they had full blown cable. Like when I was growing up, we had 12 fucking channels, and most of them were the same thing twice.
Yeah, love those days, huh?
Yeah, ABC, NBC, CBS, PBS, one Fox, which is weird, but okay. Two of everything else, but only one Fox.
That's funny.
And the only cable channels we had were ESPN and TBS, and then we finally got TNT after a while and CMT, because bunch of country bumpkins got to have their CMT. But anyway, what do you got first, Greg?
Yeah, is it my turn? Okay,
I think so.
Okay, this is my last pick, so I don't have any more.
Yeah, I think. Are you done, Runner? Do you have any more left?
I have one more.
Oh, Runner's got one left. All right.
Oh, always. He had more than us this time.
That's true.
So I have The Kid, starring Ethan Hawke, Dan DeHaan, Chris Pratt.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Directed by Vincent D'Onofrio, the first to direct it. When you was doing the Magnificent Seven, I went back and went through it. This is actually available on 4K. You can get this on 4K. I bought the Blu-ray when the Blu-ray was new, but the 4K came out a lot later. So yeah, you can get the 4K. It's pretty cheap. I think it's only like 17 something bucks. It's not a bad movie. It could have maybe used a little work, but I liked it. It wasn't too bad. It's not a bad movie. And the movie, it's called The Kid, but it's not really about Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid is in it. Dan DeHaan plays Billy the Kid, the crack goblin from Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he plays Billy. Yeah, he plays Billy the Kid. Ethan Hawke plays Pat Garrett. The movie is essentially about this young boy and his sister. One night, their dad, he's abusive. He's beating out of their mom, and the little boy, in order to try to save his mom, he kills his dad, but it's too late. He kills his dad. His dad has already killed their mom. And Chris Pratt was their dad's brother. And Chris Pratt, if you've ever thought you wanted to see him play something different against type, watch this movie. He plays pure evil. He makes this movie. It's not Chris Pratt. You do not see Chris Pratt in this movie at all.
I think I saw a trailer for it.
He's pure evil in this movie.
I saw the part in the trailer where he does like play a pure evil dude, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, he plays. You don't even know it's him, man. I mean, you get lost in his character. You don't see Chris Pratt at all. But Chris Pratt walks in on him after he kills his brother. So the kid and his sister escape, and they're on the run from Chris Pratt and his gang. And they meet up with Billy the Kid, played by Dan DeHaan. And so the young boy sort of takes a liking to him, because he likes Billy the Kid. And this is different than most Billy the Kid movies, where Billy the Kid is like portrayed as like this anti-hero sort of guy, where Pat Garrett and him cooked up his fake death. Pat Garrett didn't really kill him. No, in this, Billy Kid is played as somebody who maybe started off as a good person and has gone down a path where he's He's been corrupted, and Pat Garrett is played by Ethan Hawke as somebody who is actually, pretty upright, a pretty well standard guy, and he kills Billy the Kid. He's in this movie. He kills Billy the Kid. Not that that's a spoiler or anything, because like I said, it's really not about Billy the Kid. It's about the kid and the young girl. So like this kid and his sister. The kid is infatuated with Billy Kid, and then they get hooked up with Pat Garrett. Pat Garrett, it's like a yin and yang. They get pulled between these two guys, and as they're running from Chris Pratt, and then Chris Pratt kidnaps the sister, and he does some pretty evil shit to this is supposed to be his niece. He does some pretty evil crap to her, for when he gets a hold of her, and so like the kid tries to get Billy Kid to help him, but he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't get him because Pat Garrett and him gets in a fight. And then they convince Pat Garrett, and Pat Garrett like tells the kid like, this guy wasn't good. What are you doing? And so like they get Pat Garrett to go to the town where Chris Pratt's got the sister and everything, and it boils down to a big like Western gunfight type thing. It's just like it's a really fun movie. It's got great cast, like I said. Adam Baldwin's in it. Vincent D'Onofrio does make an appearance in the movie, and but you won't look at Chris Pratt the same way again. And it's I don't know how I feel about the Billy the Kid thing, because I've always seen Billy the Kid portrayed as like this anti-hero. Like he was actually just really a good guy. And in this, he was a much more conflicted guy who was actually, I wouldn't say he's evil, because like the whole thing of the movie is it only matters the story they tell when you're gone. And like Pat Garrett tells him, like, there's bad in every person. Sometimes you have to do bad things for good reasons. It's how that affects you after you do that bad thing. Like they're trying to say like, Billy Kid, it affected him in this way, and Chris Pratt's character, it affected him in a really evil way. And like Pat Garrett, even maybe he has done some bad things, but he's doing good. So that's the whole point of the thing is like, you may have bad in you, you may have to do a bad thing, but what you become after you do that bad thing is what whether or not the law's coming after you, or whether or not you can turn it around and be a good person. So that's like the whole moral of the movie. So but it's not a bad little movie. I mean, it could have maybe used a little more work to it, but Vincent he did a pretty decent job for his first time out. So it's got a different tone than you would expect from a Billy the Kid type movie. So yeah, so there you go. And yeah, you can get it on 4K, and 4K is pretty damn cheap. So I just bought the Blu-ray when it was brand new. So, and the 4K came out, like I said, came out later. So, but there you go. That is my final pick of the night. Billy did it for his pals Bon Jovi. But yeah, I mean, Chris Pratt gives this like unnerving speech to Ethan Hawke's character because like after he gets done doing some of the horrible shit he does to the kid's sister, and he comes down and then Pat Garrett's there, and he gives him like this really creepy speech about birds and stuff, and it's just like it's creepy and mesmerizing all at the same time, and you want to see Pat Garrett gun down Chris Pratt. You're like, are you going to kill this guy? Please get rid of this guy. So he's pretty evil.
You know what's funny? Like, it's always weird how like sometimes there's going to be that one movie where an actor who is pretty much likable in real life will play an absolutely horrible person in one movie. One other movie I thought of in my head was Sam Raimi's The Gift. You know what I'm talking about, right, Greg?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, that character, like, you just hate him in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember watching that movie. I'm like, because I remember being kind of excited that Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but he's the red herring of the movie, anyways.
Yeah, but like, no, it's just like the way he like portrays the character he does. I'm like, holy shit! Like this dude is just fucking.
You want to see a Keanu Reeves movie where he plays out of character and it's really poorly cast, but it's actually a pretty decent movie. Watch the movie The Watcher. Watcher. It stars Keanu Reeves and Ultron. They got. Why can't I think of names tonight?
James Spader?
James Spader. Yeah. Keanu Reeves plays a serial killer who is stalking James Spader, who's an FBI agent, and it's got Marissa Tomei in it too. So yeah, you might like that movie. It's Keanu Reeves was miscast as the bad guy, but he's doing his best to play this really evil character.
No, but he could play a really evil character in The Gift. And he did that movie right after.
I don't know if I would say that's an evil character. He's just like a drunken guy who beats his girlfriend. I mean, yes, that's evil, but I don't know, think of that as like he's the red herring of the movie. So like he's designed to be that way.
Well, no, but like the character is not a character that you like root for, you know, because every other Keanu Reeves movie you can think of, he plays a very likable character. He does not play a likable character in The Gift. That's my point.
I get you.
You don't root for him, and you're like, because I remember watching the movie and I'm like, holy shit, like I fucking hate this character. Like I can't believe I hate a Keanu Reeves character.
I remember watching the movie thinking, no, it's not him. Too obvious.
I know. Well, there's that, but you know, but it's just the way he plays the character. I'm just like, holy shit. Like he's actually like trying something new, and it's great.
Well, but that was my final pick of the night. So if you want to go ahead and show yours, and we'll wrap it up.
All right. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this film. Almost everyone has. It's got a great voice cast. It's an animated movie, and it's the Cliff Notes version of the Ten Commandments. Prince of Egypt.
Why didn't you bring that up earlier when we was talking about all the remakes and like everything?
I thought about it and I was just holding it in.
That way we wouldn't have had to wait it for we could have just finished it after I did my final pick.
I know. I thought about
showing them at the same time.
I thought about showing them at the same time, but I didn't. I don't know why. I should have, but I didn't. I don't always like to show two movies at the same time unless like I really need to.
But that was like that's a great connection right there. It's the same thing.
That's why I want to show it after the Ten Commandments.
You know, believe it or not, I have not seen Prince of Egypt.
Really?
I know about it. I know what it's about. I've seen parts of it. I know it's Val Kilmer and all that, but I have not seen
Prince I've never seen it either. I do have the 4K, but I did mention it earlier.
Yeah, that's what I was saying
earlier, and I thought about bringing it on right after you said that, but I was just like, nah, I'm gonna wait. I don't know why, but yeah, I know Tom mentioned it. I know. God damn it. I really hate you, Dan Blackroyd. You can suck a dick. Yeah, running.
No, seriously, you've seen it, so did you like it?
Yeah, it's good. It's the Ten Commandments, but chopped in half.
I've always heard this was like a really good cartoon adaptation. I've heard it's like very cinematic.
It's
what I've heard.
Yeah, it's very good, and the 4K is pretty good too.
Nice.
It's pretty good. The slipcover is nice. It's actually got like a gold. It's got a golden hue to it.
This is DreamWorks, right?
Yeah, it's distributed by Universal. It's distributed by Universal, but it's got the DreamWorks logo on there. Yeah. Instead of
this Universal. Is what DreamWorks was actually trying to make real like cinematic cartoon movies before like what they became.
Yeah. But this is probably the most Disney animated movie that DreamWorks has made. Cause like there's like musical bits to it which aren't like super like obnoxiously annoying. But this movie has a fantastic cast. I mean you have Val Kilmer, Ralph Fiennes voices what's the other guy's name?
Ramses,
yeah. Ralph Fiennes is Ramses. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it. Sandra Bullock, Jeff Goldblum, Danny Glover, Patrick Stewart, Steve Martin, Helen Mirren. Like it's a fucking solid cast.
Yeah, it's got a solid cast to it.
And you know what's funny? When I watched this movie, like it's hard. There was sometimes I couldn't tell that it was Val Kilmer voicing Moses. I mean, yes, it is him, obviously, but like the part where I could totally tell that it's him is when he says the word night. And you know why?
Why?
Because he plays a character named Knight in one of his first movies.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Chris Knight. Chris Knight, yeah.
Chris Knight in Real Genius.
Yeah,
when
Real Genius.
The word Knight, not in that name, just like the normal word Knight. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, you can totally tell it's Val Kilmer. But Val Kilmer voices Moses and God in the movie.
Oh, so I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, when you hear God's narration, it totally sounds like Val Kilmer.
Hey guys, remember I used to be Batman?
No, but you could totally tell. No, but Val Kilmer actually tries a little more to, like, he tries to like try something different with the Moses character, which I thought was good.
Who are you? I'm Moses.
Yeah.
Good night, Kitty Bear. Thanks for hanging with us, man. I know. 6:30 a.m. Whoa. Good night, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not even midnight yet where I live.
It's past midnight where I live.
Yeah, but you know, it's funny enough. I watched.
Bad.
You know, it's funny. I watched Prince of Egypt when I got it 4K, and after I watched it, I found out like, oh, I already have the 10 Commandments in my pile of movies I gotta watch. I'll watch that next. It's just an even longer version with just more context and stuff. There's definitely some differences between the two movies, and it's not just the runtime.
Cool. Maybe I'll pick it up for the kids. I don't know. The kids don't like watching TV that much around here.
The but I always like it. I know it had like, I've heard a lot of people talk about and the soundtrack's pretty good. Like there's a lot of people on Twitter I've seen saying like, oh my god, the soundtrack is one of the best, and it's like, it's a good one. It's damn good.
Nice. He said I've never seen it. I think that was a little after my time. When was the year was that made?
98.
98. Let's see. I was in high school. Yeah. So yeah, I wasn't really watching kids flicks at that time.
Yeah, like that movie was like a lot of people's childhoods, and I you know, I could have sworn I've seen it when I was young, but I don't remember much of it after watching it recently.
I get you.
But you know, Val Kilmer voicing Moses, that's fucking great.
Nice.
And Michelle Pfeiffer voices the wife.
Nice.
I forget her name. Yeah, nice. It's hell of a cast. You got fucking Danny Glover's character's only in it for like a little bit though. Jeff Goldblum, I vaguely remember his character, but no, it's got a surprisingly like good like cast, because I was watching like a little bit of the because it comes with the making of Prince of Egypt, and you get to see like interviews of the cast and all that, and I'm like, holy shit, they were fucking in the movie.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and close it out there, Runner.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but the good picks tonight, everybody. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Runner, for coming on. Thank you to everybody. Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you to everybody in the chat that hung with us tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the picks. Hope we gave you something to think about, something to want to watch, something to pick up, whatnot. But as always, you don't have to go home. You can't stay here. Thank you for watching, and
how you doing? bitches leave.